What's up? What's up? It's the Arthur Moats Experience with Deke. I'm Arthur Moats, and that's my main man, Deke.
What's good, bro?
Top of the morning, my brother. Top of the morning, everybody that is in the chat currently. Always love when we get a chance to just roll out the bed, have a little wake and bake, a little fun in the morning time. I left my orange juice upstairs. A person told me you're supposed to pair certain things with OJ, and I left my OJ, man.
That's a shame.
Yeah, man.
What brand?
Oh man, what do I have upstairs right now? Minute Maid. Yeah,
Minute Maid, not
Minute Maid
Tropicana.
orange juice. Nah,
what about what's the one? It's called Simply.
You got
Orange?
Simply.
I think that's the goat.
You got Dole. Obviously, it's somebody else. Yeah. Simply is fire though.
I think that's the go.
Simply's fire. Yeah, Simply is definitely fire.
Well, because they have the lemonade too.
So
they branched off some other flavors.
A ton of the Simply like pink lemonade, strawberry lemonade mixes and stuff like that. But you can't go wrong with just some basic 100% orange juice.
Or just the one in the gallon. It's
yes.
easily the worst one, but it just hits different sometimes.
For a fact, it is the worst one. For a fact, man. And for me, I just like when I see like the gallon, I just think like, I should be in like somebody's like convenience store late at night, doing something janky. I need something to drink real quick. Like, I'm good on that one.
Can I give a quick shout out real quick?
Absolutely, man. Do what you need to do, big fella.
I completely forgot about this.
Ooh, okay.
It's Dotson Day though.
It's Dotson Day? It
It's
is
June
6/9. It is. It definitely
What
is.
I forgot was to wear the jersey, but I did just wear the jersey last week.
You could have wore it back
I
to
should have
back.
worn it. I'm
You
so mad I
could've done
forgot.
that.
I remembered last night. I was like, I got to wear the jersey. But when I woke up, it's just different when you wake up.
You
You're
didn't
just
wanna,
like,
write it on your hand?
I should have, honestly.
See, you were more concerned with like the bake part instead of the actual wake and like get my plan in order.
I know.
It happens like that though, man. We can't complain. That's what you're supposed to do.
No, but I just wanted to give that shout out.
Well, and in the comment section, they do like the fact that, and this is Zachary right here. Shout out to Zachary. He says we got Taco Meat Deke in the building. This is a fact, right? Here.
Somewhat. Yeah.
That's like honorary Big Deke energy for number 6'9" on his big day today.
Sure.
I'm actually glad to know that this is his official day now, man. This is gonna make me happy all day. Yes, indeed. South Florida, he says the same thing. South Florida still 777 6'9" is Dotson Day, baby, and we got a lot more people talking about Taco Meat Deke. Shout out to George, along with George calling you Daddy
man.
Deke, man. You Daddy Deke this morning. What? Well, I heard a wise man once say that something is better in the morning like a slice of pizza. I mean, that's what Drake told me. So I just figured like, Big Deke in the morning, he gives that type of energy. Now you're called Daddy Deke. It's like that.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Appreciate the support.
Yeah, man, I'm just glad to be in the building with you, man. Like I feel this energy.
It's
I
not
don't feel it, but I like.
Nah, it's not that big
You know
of
what
a
I'm saying?
deal.
Like
dude.
I step to the side because I don't want nobody to get hurt. But
I ain't trying or anything. I'm just. I'm amazed that people are saying stuff.
It's just
like
natural like that.
That's what I mean. I'm not trying, but thanks.
Hey, and Roy, good morning to you as well. Good morning Roy says good morning to us. So
good morning.
Yeah. Reciprocating that. Also, Noah, all the way from Canada, says good morning. Hello. Hey, hello. Top of the morning to you as well. I think we had a West Coaster in here as well. Oh, yeah. Jar Devil says it's 6:45 in Southern California right now.
Wow.
Early riser, baby. We appreciate you. Enjoy your coffee or your something in orange juice, whatever that other part may be. Just make sure you got the orange juice. That's what a prominent Pittsburgh artist once told us.
Sure.
Yeah. And Madden 21 Clip says morning guys as well, man. Top of the morning, baby. I'm liking the fact that everybody is up and we're chipper and we're feeling good on a Dotson Day.
Dotson Day.
Dotson. That's what we're calling to this, the Dotson Day. I wish I would have, man, if I would have known that, I would have said, man, our whole topic's going to be on just Dotson and 6'9" related things. We would talk Tekashi 6'9". We would talk which number is better, the 6 or the 9. All right. PG-13. We'll keep it friendly. I was getting excited. I'm sorry.
Is Dotson a lock for the Pro Bowl?
Oh, no. Pro Bowl. Is he a lock for first team All-Pro?
I'm hoping so.
It's going to be interesting.
Well, I guess we get a little bit of that today, right?
We do.
With one of our
definitely
topics.
do. I mean, obviously it's not like we keep it a secret what the topics are because we do have the titles up here and we type in a nice little description because we're professional-ish. Not fully professional, but we kind of, we flirt with that a little bit. So yes, we will be talking about the offensive lineman and obviously Kevin Dotson, Mr. 6'9" on his big day, not birthday, but his big day. We're going to make sure that we showed him a little love today, man. And Zachary said, yeah, Dotson's already a lock for the Hall of Fame. That's where we're going. And Toxic One North says Dotson for MVP. Yeah.
I don't know if I can do that.
You remember Tavian. Tavian says Dotson's clearly our number one offensive lineman.
Dotson could be
put just GOAT on him, right?
Dotson could be second place MVP. I still gotta get Ben the MVP here.
And then Roman, even though this is a little off topic, he says, are we gonna get Moats and Deke movie reviews again today?
Wow. People liked it, huh?
Mr. Thanos over here.
Damn.
Mr. Thanos Singapore.
Never got it. Man. But yeah, he is probably one of the best villains for sure. I agree.
That was a fun time. Great topic.
That's interesting. I enjoyed that. Yeah,
we're gonna have to swing back through there one of these days, though, man. We're gonna spin the block. We're gonna come back to that because we were very candid during that day. We turned into what, like 10, 15 minutes on that topic?
Yeah,
crazy. I like it though. And they hollering about the DC comics and stuff. Yeah, we got some stuff in the works. South Florida still. We got some stuff in the works. Yes, we do. And then Quinto49, good morning from Arkansas. All right. Shout out to you, baby. Yes, indeed. I'm liking this morning check-in. See, usually when we come in the morning, what I always say, right? Morning time, we're going to find out, hey, where you checking in at, man? If you're willing to wake up early in the morning to join us, we want to know where you're watching from so we can give you a shout out, right? So quickly, man, we got time real quick. Let us know in the chat where you tuning in from, man, so we can give you a shout out, man. We got to see how we're still a nation tuned in from this morning.
For sure.
On this beautiful Dotson day.
For sure.
Freaky Deke 6'9".
Steeler Nation.
Deke.
It's not nationwide, it's worldwide.
Absolutely,
I've heard that
man.
Once or twice before.
Maybe a few times, right? DeAndre Long says he's tuning in from New Jersey. Says good morning. We got Joey Dirt. Morning from Texas. Ooh, they say it's always bigger in Texas. That's always big Deke energy down there, man. I'm just throwing it out there. Money Bags from South Carolina. I hear you, baby. I hear you. Toxic One North tuning in from Florida. Then we got Miles Harrington, Tampa Bay. Mike Laney, South Carolina. We got some South Kakalaki in the building. I like it. All right. Madden 21 clips from that Pittsburgh. You got to have a Berg.
I was going to say, where's Pittsburgh?
We got to have some Berg in the building. Roman, obviously we said with Roman earlier, Southern California, So Florida still. I always say South Florida. So Florida still. 777 is tuning in from Miramar, Florida. And he says, I'm busy working. Well, hey, baby, work, but don't work too hard, baby, because you see us over here. We're working / hardly working. So it's all good. Oh, and then shout out to my man, William, says morning from the University of James Madison. You know James Madison University, only the best place ever. I'm talking where you dominating all the sports. It really doesn't matter. So yes, shout out to you, Mr. William, Mr. JMU. Go Dukes.
I noticed that's not a topic today.
It's not. But we already had a conversation about it. Oh, because we led. I forget. No, we talked since then, right?
No. The game was after that live. The final game.
So why do because I did my video after. I was like, why do I feel like I already talked about
this? You did.
This?
Yeah, you're right. You did your social media.
Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. I was like, I feel like I definitely addressed the issue. Yeah.
Where's the dude that was talking smack at?
I don't know, but it was funny though, because someone hit me up on Twitter. I got to go back and find like their mention, but someone had hit me up on Twitter after I put the video up and they were like, yo, Andre tried to tell you. And I was left like, oh man. But we always find it funny when we get that crossover where, all right, the YouTube crowd is coming on to Twitter or coming on to IG, TikTok, etc. So I did laugh a little bit, but I was like, yo, you really, this is what you're going to do here? But yeah, I figured because we already talked about it. That was the big thing, man. But yeah, man, always go Dukes, man. Always go Dukes. And I'm trying to think, what's today, Wednesday? They have.
It is Wednesday.
Yeah, so they should have the final game for the
third place
championship. Game. No, the championship one should be tonight because they played Tuesday.
You're not talking about JMU.
No, JMU is done. Like the championship for the whole thing, because we lost in the semi, so we lost in like the Final Four. So I'm like, I ain't tripping on that. Yeah, we lost on Final Four with the number one team that's in the championship. We already beat them, lost them in overtime. Cool. If you got us on the third one, our pitcher arm was tied. I ain't tripping on that. The funny thing was this though, to see the
some bad calls in those first two.
Well, yeah, but no, not the first. Remember the first one we won.
No, the first two though. Yeah, there might have been a bad one in the first one. You overcame it, and the second one really cost you.
The thing that I loved though was this: out of all the women that played in that tournament, at the end of JMU's run, and it wasn't even the end of the game. Our pitcher, the one I was telling you, was all world, is on Sports Center every day and all that stuff. So eventually, her arm gives out. She gets gassed. She comes out the game. Standing ovation. Everyone. MLB tweeting her. Tip of the cap. Washington football team. All these different major sports networks. Sports Center. ESPN. Women's ESPN. All these NCAA, like everything, talking about her, talking about JMU. So absolutely, trust me, I would have killed and gave us a whole 2 hours on JMU. But I figure y'all have already had enough of that on the national scale. So, you know, when we're national like how we are, we don't have to come up here and talk because, you know, we don't like to deal with the national folks. We put them on in the background, but we don't really give them a lot of attention. So since, you know, JMU is getting all that national attention, I figured we let them live for a little while. You know. Yeah, it's a little different around there. But back to the shout out, man. The morning wake and bake. Got Dylan, I believe that's how you say it, or Dylan. Yeah, I'm saying Dylan. It sounds cooler. So yeah, we got Dylan coming in from Ohio. Got Gus checking in from Toronto, Canada. Oh, Canada. Yes, indeed. Justin, Morgantown, West Virginia. Okay.
Wow.
Are you a WVU fan? Let us know. Go Ears.
I hope not.
Said I hope not. And then we got Mad513. Good morning from the Ohio State. Hey, we had Buckeye topics last time, man. You know, Buckeye might get brought up today. You never know.
What do we have?
Well, we're talking Dwayne Haskins a little
Oh,
bit.
sure.
Yeah, and then obviously today we're talking about Mason.
I guess, yeah.
Which then again, Dwayne Haskins is probably going to come up.
Sure, yeah.
The Ohio State, yeah.
Yeah, no, good point.
Who else we have from Ohio State? I mean, I know we have like our guys from Ohio State, but Malik Hooker, potentially him, right? He could be a new addition.
That's a good point.
To the Ohio State or from the Ohio State. Keep going with these morning shout outs real quick before we get going a little bit more. All right. Oh man, the screen jumped on me. Wait a minute. All right, we got Jaden. Here we go. Some more Berg action. Okay, Jaden from the Berg. Madden Clip said he's in Pittsburgh. Eric 88 said he's from Gettysburg, PA. Where's that at? Are you familiar with Gettysburg?
Gettysburg, that's like middle of the state.
Okay.
Yeah, kind of close to Harrisburg, I guess.
Okay, shout out to Gettysburg. Then we got Zach tuning in. He says, sadly watching from Kansas.
Man. Kansas.
What's wrong with Kansas? Kansas seems cool. They got good food in Kansas.
Actually, I don't blame them.
Yeah, it's not Pittsburgh, so can't be that good.
Yeah, it's either Pittsburgh, be on the coast, or something like
or
that.
Or JMU, one of those places.
Yeah, Midwest can be tough to live in.
Yeah.
Carlos, remember we talked about him?
Yeah.
Nebraska. He's like, there's not much going on.
It's not a good look. Carlos did say that in the interview. He was like, yo, really? Like, that's it? What's there to do? Fish, chill, nothing else. I like it. And then Benor, New Jersey. Fonny Boy, Chesterfield, VA. Absolutely. And then Donald Copeland is giving you and Dotson a shout out on Mr. 6'9" Day. We know how y'all boys get it in. And then Bluff Z's, because he ain't sleeping on us. He says, everyone press that like button as well. I know we early in the show, but that's what he said. So go from there. And then Tavian is from the north side of Pittsburgh. Oh,
nice.
Need that north side. Gotta have that north side. Oh, and then we got DJ Lundy, Crib, Norfolk, Virginia, 757 in the building. Yes, indeed, in the flesh. Got some Glen Allen in here, some Hill District. Oh, shout out to the Hill District. Yes, indeed. Orlando, Florida, ATL. And then we got Joe Brown tuning in from VA, the 434 to the 75. Oh, no. 434 is not better than the 757. But I feel where you're coming from. All right, it's still VA over everyone else. He was trying area code is like 757 is the best area. It's that simple. It's kind of like saying like Pittsburgh.
Oh, I see that now.
Yeah,
I thought he was typing in a phone number.
Yeah, you funny. And then we also have a new person that we need to welcome to the family. Man, shout out to Q. Welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. We appreciate you greatly. Yes, indeed. And then Jason Miles, we appreciate your contribution as well. He says, how can I get Moat's autographed jersey? I have a Steelers man cave and I'm missing Moat's jersey. It's interesting.
How does one do that?
Well, typically what I tell people is this. If they order the jersey and send it to my mailing address, that yes, I will take care of said jersey.
Okay.
Get my sign on and everything like that. And if they would like said address, I think I have it on my social, but either way it's 1597. Okay, matter of fact, make sure I write 1597 Washington Pike, Suite A 38-106, Bridgeville, PA 15017. That's simple. You send it there. I make sure it gets signed up and sent back to you, baby. Yes,
what about
indeed.
like a Moats bobblehead?
Oh, it don't matter. Yeah, just send whatever there. Yeah.
Have you ever gotten someone else's jersey And like
I have no,
and someone said, "Hey, sign this."
Yes.
Who was it?
I had a Troy jersey somebody wanted me to sign before. I swear, and I felt so uncomfortable.
Was there other autographs on it?
No, I felt so uncomfortable. So uncomfortable. I was like, yo, I don't want, like, this is Troy. I don't feel comfortable signing this jersey. They're like, no, sign right on the 4. I'm like, God, no. Like, but I sign on the 3. I wanted to. Like, I sign on the inside, just reverse the jersey. Yes. I've had, actually, it's happened a couple of times, but that was the one that caught me off guard the most. And it wasn't even like a grown up. He was like 13, 14. And I was like, no, I don't, like, it's Troy. Like, I don't think you understand what you're asking right now, you know? And but it's a kid, so you don't want to say no. And you could tell, like, when they look like they weren't expecting me to have a rebuttal to, like, oh, can I sign something else? They were just expecting, all right, here's the jersey, just sign it. And I was like, yo, it's Troy. I did end up signing it, but I felt very uncomfortable about it because, like I said, it was Troy. And it's Troy. You can't just sign old Troy jersey. Like, what you mean? This is Troy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was my whole thing right there, man. But yeah. So with that being said, we
got another upper room member.
We do. I'm glad you caught that because last time we missed the guy, right?
I know.
Yeah. We don't want any issues. All right, no issues. But Justin Mitchell, shout out to you, baby, and welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. We appreciate you greatly. Oh, it's always a fun little balance in the mornings, man.
No, for sure. I'm always amazed how many people are tuning in just across America.
Yeah.
Like, always amazed. I just always think
nuts,
it's Pittsburgh
man.
people.
Nuts. I'm seeing Houston, Texas, seeing Youngstown, Ohio, 772 in Florida, Sacktown, Sacramento in the building, Cali, 804. Ooh, okay. Shout out to my Richmond guys. I like it. Yeah, man. It's all over though, man. And that's what makes Steeler Nation beautiful. We talked about that, man. We appreciate that, you know? And that's what we always try to have that fine balance too in the comment section of not just going to the people, you know, that compensate. We know that they get priority because of that, but we make sure that we shout on everybody because across the nation, y'all, it's plenty of places that y'all could be putting y'all attention, tuning in, watching shows, things like that. But since y'all rocking with us, man, we always appreciate y'all and we gonna reciprocate that. And Carlito, we definitely appreciate the love, yes indeed, and the support. Ooh, shout out to Kevin and Grottos VA. Jeez. All right.
I'm seeing a lot of 804s.
I know, right? Like, as soon as I shouted out, I made my little comment. Now 804 coming in here. 434 is not far from the 804. I lump them all in together because I disrespect it. That's all I'm saying. You know, it's like if you 724 here and 412. Like, you can't beat both. I just lump them all together. That's what it's like. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't really look down upon 724. Yeah. I consider them the same.
Yeah, we don't. It's not like a look down. This is more so just friendly banter because, you know, just how everybody's located. It's like our area is better. We're 757. It's a cool
technically
area
412 is Pittsburgh.
That's all I'm saying, man. It does have a better vibe to it. Like,
no, it is. I mean, there's a reason there's brands named after it and stuff. It's so popular. It's mentioned in songs and shit. So
man, anytime you get that combo of a 4 and a 2, you know, that's always good. We just needed a 0 somewhere around here. Anywho, though, all right. Oh, man, we still got more color before we get to our next thing. But shout out to Jason. Jason Miles, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. We appreciate you, baby. Yes, sir. And lowercase v, upscale G, Arsenal, VG Arsenal. Appreciate the support. Says, love the show always. Just stopping by to spread some love. I'm waiting for the Battlefield review at 11. New game dropping. All right. I can respect it.
Is someone reviewing it or is the game dropping?
I think they're gonna do a game review, or I guess like the game is dropping, or a preview of it at 11. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then the last one before we get into this real topic right here, Justin Mitchell. Once again, man, appreciate your love. But he says the morning pods are fire. Great to listen at work.
Thank you.
Well, yeah, hey, man, if we are able to, you know, give you any type of mental stimulation while you are at work and just take your mind off of the nonsense, the day-to-day, we greatly appreciate you. That's our job. So without further ado, Mr. Big Deke Energy, if you are ready, we got to talk about a little Mason Rudolph here, man.
Let's do it.
Now, with Mason, we saw him have comments earlier this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Comments talking about the team, talking about his future, both in the NFL and with the Steelers. And he had made a comment that obviously had made headlines where he was talking about wanting to be the starting quarterback, whether that was in Pittsburgh or just in the NFL. But he says he wants to be a starting quarterback in 2022, which obviously is next season.
Are we sure about that?
To an extent, yes. Mm-hmm.
No, because I didn't take the comments as like he's trying to be the starter in 2022.
Okay, you can read them though.
Okay, here. Hold on. Unless he made another quote, because here's what I read here. He said, "That's my goal, to be a starting quarterback in this league and for our team, and I'm working towards that goal every single day. Mm-hmm. I can only control myself in the way I prepare and the way I approach and play in OTAs, camp, and that's on the forefront of my mind." And then he says, "I'm not worried about 22 or anything like that. I'm trying to live in the moment and be the best I can for the team." I didn't think the comments were like that big of a deal, in my opinion.
It's never, like, when we talk about it, it's never in a big deal or not big deal. But the fact of the matter is, he does want to be a starting quarterback.
Which he should be.
Very clearly said that. And he says he wants to be a starting quarterback in this league going forward. He did say that as well. Now, you could put 2 and 2 together, but it's not, don't take rocket science to understand that, hey, next year, this man wants to be a starting quarterback.
He would like to do that sooner rather than later, especially at this point in his career. I agree.
He was very clear in that, yes.
Because if Ben does come back, he might have a decision of like to be asked to be traded if someone's willing to give him an opportunity and a competition. So, I'm with you on that. Like, he's at this stage in his career, all these rookie quarterbacks are coming into the league. He'd probably rather get a chance sooner rather than later.
Well, because for him, this is as simple as this. He has 1 to 2 years tops remaining to make a move. Otherwise, he will become Landry Jones. He will become Bruce Gradkowski. And it's not a shot at those guys. Those guys played in the league for multiple years. But the point that I'm getting to is, and this is what Charlie Batch said as well, guys that don't have a successful track record as being a starter, you don't have that same luxury to just come in and sit behind this quarterback for 20 years. Like, that's not going to work. They want to know, can you play or not? Can you be the successor or not? So based on Mason's sample size thus far, it hasn't been set in stone, yes or no. So it is very significant for him to understand that. And I think that even though he is articulating the quote unquote QB1 talk, in terms of, I want to be a starter, but I'm focused on right now. I want to do this, but I'm focused on this right now. It's almost like he's scared to just say, like, yo, I want to be the guy. I want to be a starter in this league. Because if you're flip-flopping, that's not starter. Flip-flopping is like, oh, man, I'm trying to just fall in line. And honestly, for Mason, he's not going to be able to have that type of luxury of just falling in line and just doing the quote-unquote what you're supposed to do or supposed to say going forward. I just think for him, man, he has to have a little bit more sense of urgency right now.
Interesting. Yeah, I don't really expect him to say anything else. I don't expect him to say, hey, Charlie Whitehurst was my hero growing up, clipboard Jesus. I want to be a backup my whole life. I mean, he started for a year. He got a taste of that, played well in 2017. So I expect him to want to be a starter. He was a high draft pick for us too. We had this first round grade on him. So I mean, these comments, in my opinion, were just like, what else was he supposed to say? I thought I actually watched the interview that's on the Steelers channel. As well, They don't have the full quotes that have come out all throughout social media on that press conference. I don't know if he had a separate interview just behind the scenes.
I know from my understanding, on my
that one that I just read to you wasn't on that Steelers one.
Because I was gonna say the Steelers video one is like condensed. It doesn't have that. I've read the quotes, but then on my other show, we had the actual audio of him actually like speaking and talking. But I think that was because the guy that was doing the interview, he was a part of the other network that I was working with. So that's why I think I was able to hear that audio. But yeah, that was the biggest thing. And we talked about that as well in terms of the headlines, the salaciousness of it, right? Was, oh, he wants to be the Steelers starting quarterback in 2022. He never said he wanted to be the Steelers starting quarterback.
They put 2 and 2 together because he said, I love it here in Pittsburgh. I'd love to stay here.
And that was the whole thing. But yeah, he never came on and said that. Yes.
I'm sure he would like it, even if he had that in the same exact sentence. But at the same time, it's like, I don't think literally anything he said in this interview probably, like, if we had this conversation like a week ago and say, hey, do you think Mason wants to be a starting quarterback? Yeah, he probably does. You know what I mean? For him to come out and say, it's like, okay, yeah, you probably should. You're a professional athlete. You're trying to improve yourself and grow and whatnot. So good for him. Like, that's the thing. Good for him. I don't blame him at all.
Well,
you know, I just want Ben to be the starter in 2022 and going forward.
Man, you want him to be the starter in 2052. Stop lying.
Yeah, maybe 50 is the cutoff. But.
No, man, it's 69 is definitely the cutoff, man. After 69, it gets too wild. All right, but for a fact, man, yeah. But it got me thinking, though. It got me thinking in terms of Mason Rudolph. Number one, what does he do good? Because I feel like it's always easy to point to, oh, well, he does this bad, he does that bad. But what if we just focus on, first off, what does he do well? Because we know every player in the NFL does something well. Every player that has been able to start has some qualities that are positive about him. So I would say, you know what? In this morning rise and grind, this wake and bake, let's try a different exercise for the first part of this thing.
Sure.
Let's find out, if we had to name 3 things, and this is a group exercise here. I'm talking to you guys in the chat as well. Group exercise here. If we needed to name 3 things that Mason Rudolph does well, 3 things that would make us feel like, you know what, he is capable of being a quarterback in this league, what would those 3 things be? What would you say they are? So yeah, that's the question right there for y'all in the comment section. I know y'all got a little delay, but yeah, what are the 3 things that you feel Mason Rudolph does best? For him, obviously we can't say best in the league, but what do you think are his 3 best qualities that would make him a good quarterback?
You want to group think this, or you have 3 like in mind?
I mean, I'm always ready. You know me.
Okay,
but I'm giving it some time real quick. And yeah, we'll give it some time. We'll give it some time. I was trying to see how I was going to read this. While we're giving it time, I'll read this one real quick. This from Donald Copeland. First off, Donald, we appreciate the support. Big time. Yes, indeed. He says, good morning to the guys always showing love. We need that Canada film session.
Whoa.
Oh, a little Matt Canada film session. Trust me, I'm going to look into that. Yeah, I just got to pull up some of his old,
yeah, so I was going to say, so it's not based off a player. You're gonna
I have to like this whole like scheme.
You can go back to college.
Right. That's what
that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah. So as you can see, that's going to take just a little bit, of digging to get to those tapes and stuff like that. But
that'd be worthwhile.
It would. For a fact, it would. So trust me, man. I got some stuff in the works for you. As y'all see, I go through spurts with this like film review stuff. Like I go through like, all right, I'm dropping film, and then I take a little break, and I'm gonna come back and film.
Yeah, in the lab.
You can't burn yourself out, man. You just take your time and you get back in that lab. And then I got Chef Deke over here. He always cooking up the gumbo, getting it fire.
I try.
Yes, indeed. And Roy Tuesley, we definitely appreciate your support as well. Yes, indeed. All right, now let's see. Have we given the people enough time? Letting them keep going? You let me know if we got enough in there yet.
In terms of comments, we actually got a nice little contribution here from Brandon. Hold on. Yolette. I was about to say Yoletta. Okay. He said, keep being great, guys. Now let's get Deke that mullet. I'm thinking about it. It is something I'm thinking about.
It is definitely coming in.
It would go well with the stash for sure. It is
definitely coming in.
And we got another upper room member, John Doe.
Shout out to John Doe. Welcome to the upper room. Do I say I know John Doe, or is it like I still don't know because it's John Doe?
I know. We've seen him in the comments for a little bit.
Like I feel like I know him, but I feel like I don't know him because it's John Doe. But either way. All right, so let's see. What are the comments saying, man, as it pertains to some positivity surrounding Mason? All right. I'm having to really scroll through right here.
I know. I'm
you
trying
saw that
to.
Right? Hey, hold on. All right.
Yeah, there's a lot.
So Toxic One North says Mason should be the guy. Mason got the QB1 energy and that year-on-year improvement. Interesting point right there. I do like the year-on-year improvement. I will say that's something that we have seen from Mason that we technically haven't seen from Haskins just yet. Whereas Haskins, we saw he had the rocky first year, and then he came back in that second year, was still kind of rocky. We never really saw him make a large jump in terms of maturity, decision-making, consistency on the field. Whereas with Mason, we did say year one Mason early year one Mason compared to end of the year one Mason. And then obviously year 2 end of the year Mason, you could see a substantial jump. We all felt that in week 17, he showed that he was at least a competent NFL quarterback and the way he was able to stretch the field and stuff like that. So yeah, Toxic One North, I do agree with that. That's a good call by you. Now Tavian says, of course Mason wants to be the starter, but he's too timid for this Pittsburgh ball right now. We need an alpha at QB. Ooh. But then Toxic One North's rebuttal says he's better than Tua.
Oh man,
this is
who did he say better than Tua?
Better than Tua, yeah. But I've seen a lot of people like still on the fence with Tua based on what we saw last year and how
I'm out on Tua. I am definitely out on Tua. That might be a hot take though, but I can see where he's coming from. I can see where he's coming from. If you're out on Tua and you saw Mason those last 2 games, you could be like, hey, maybe Mason could be a better starter.
Yeah. Now, Big Kel 6 says Mason should have been Buzz light years ahead of Duck if he wanted to be taken seriously as a starter. Jeez, all right, that guy brings up a point there. But now Brendan also says, Brendan Yelitz, he says, I think Mason could be a starter somewhere, but I don't think he can be a franchise QB. Now, we've had that conversation typically with other positions, right? Wide receiver 1 versus a franchise wide receiver. And we talked about the difference that entails. And it's similar with quarterback, right? We've seen QB1s and we've seen franchise quarterbacks. What is the difference? Well, QB1 is Drew Lock. Franchise quarterback, Ben Roethlisberger. We've seen QB1 before. What's my man pouring?
Kirk Cousins.
No. Because even with Kirk, he flirts with franchise quarterback, but he's not. I feel like he's the bottom tier franchise quarterback.
Whereas he's been in the league
like
a while,
Teddy
and has
Bridgewater,
gotten big contracts.
And he came in as what draft pick too? Think about that, man.
4th rounder.
Yeah, think about that, man.
Yeah.
Was it? I thought it was 5th.
It was down there. I mean, he was taking the same 5th. Draft as RG3.
I thought he was 5th because that was the talk of you take RG3 at, in the 1st round and you took him in the 5th, I want to say it was. But another guy, prime example, Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater is QB1, but is he quote unquote franchise quarterback? Nah, not really. So that's the biggest difference right now in terms of what we're talking about with Mason. Could he be QB1? I could see that. Franchise quarterback? That's what we're all waiting to see right now.
That's what some people have been saying. They say, if Ben does retire, I could see Mason being like the stopgap quarterback for a year or 2.
Yeah.
And that is the difference right there. It's like, okay, could he be a competent starter to get us through a couple seasons versus, hey, we're going to like put all of our eggs in one basket for you for the next like 10, 15 years. I mean, that's a tough call.
Yeah.
It's
going to be interesting.
It is. Based off everything we've seen thus far, there's no way you could say that. I do think he deserves a shot, though. Whether it's a competition between him and Haskins or if we draft someone, he at least deserves a shot. I think agree. Over these past couple performances and how long he's been in the system.
I definitely think he's earned that as well. And then Toxic One North also says he's got a good deep ball. And I do think we saw that in week 17.
It improved, yeah. Because I thought it was bad.
Well, because remember, initially he wouldn't throw it.
He was throwing like ducks or they were like floating up way too high.
Yeah, it was like...
and you're right, yeah. He was just throwing short passes all the time. I remember
like Randy Fichtner at the time making a comment about that when they said, well, are you going to open up the offense more and allow Mason to stretch the field? And he said, it's there. He just has to take the throws. And we never really saw him do that until later in the year, that Jets game where obviously I think it was Deontay Johnson.
Oh, he was throwing some dots, man.
And then obviously in week 17 where he's hitting Claypool, he's hitting Washington, he's hitting, I mean, he literally was stretching the field. Excuse me. In this interview yesterday, he mentioned having a QB coach actually helped him out a lot. He says prior to that, his QB coach was Randy Fichtner. Remember, Randy Fichtner was the QB coach and offensive coordinator. So he was wearing 2 hats, similar to what Keith Butler
that was in his first season.
Yeah. So can it happen? Like dudes have done that. Plenty of coaches do that in terms of wearing multiple hats. It has its pros and its cons. If you have more of a veteran group, you more than likely get away with having a guy be a position coach and a coordinator. But when you have younger guys like they did in that quarterback room at the time, when it was Mason and Duck, probably not the most beneficial to have a guy split in time like that between those rooms. But now that issue is fixed because their QB coach is Mike Sullivan. And obviously last year was Matt Canada. So hopefully that carryover should help, right? It should breed some better results and stuff like that from a consistency standpoint.
Well, was he talking specifically about Canada last year or Sullivan this year or just the QB coach in general?
Just in general, because
he said something about Canada. Yeah. He spoke very highly of him last year, that he would draw up like 10 plays or have 10 plays in his back pocket in case he had to go in, like have Mason write them up for himself. Like, hey, what plays am I most comfortable with? What type of formations, whatever it is, if I have to be called into action, we can just run with that right off the bat.
Yeah.
But I'm sure, just having a QB coach in general to go from Canada to Sullivan and have Canada as the offensive coordinator still, that's pretty. That should be good for him, right?
I think it should. And then hi, bro. He says he has pretty nice ball placement as well. And I think we have seen that with the short to intermediate stuff. We just haven't seen a ton of him stretching the field, but we do know that he is capable of it. I think the biggest thing, man. Oh, and yeah, once again, Carlito, yeah, deep ball, low key. A lot of people talking about the deep ball a little bit. Malachi also says he has a deep ball, but it's inconsistent at times. Yeah, man, yeah. So far, so good with the positivity.
Yeah,
so far.
nothing too harsh.
Yeah, good vision.
I'm actually surprised people are saying good deep ball.
See,
I guess they're going just based off that one game, though, which he showed. It was good.
It was 2 games. The Jets game, because remember we talked about that one as like the precursor of, okay, is that realistic then? But it was a half tops, right? Not even a whole half, because he didn't even start that game. And then week 17. So the sample size is very small. I know why you don't like them praising his deep ball, but we're gonna leave it alone.
No, it's not like that. Whenever I think of Mason, though, I think of the majority of that 2019 season where it was a ton of checkdowns.
It was.
What I'm saying is, I'm surprised people were saying that. I thought the general consensus would be ripping on Mason.
See, I thought it was different. I thought a lot of people like what he can do throwing the ball. I just thought that people didn't like his actual like gameplay. Because, you know, when we talk about Haskins, for example, we always say in terms of talent, he's probably the most talented quarterback on the roster, but he's not the best quarterback on the roster. He's not, I mean, you can make a case that he's not even top 2, right? Depending on how you feel about Mason and even Dobbs from that standpoint, but he has talent. And that's the thing where I was like, I thought with Mason, they would see, okay, you see some talent here, but in terms of him actually executing it, that's where we all come up a little short with him.
Yeah, and that's the one thing he had over Duck, which was frustrating because Duck would come in and do the things you wish Mason was doing. Duck would like let it fly. It's like, why isn't Mason doing this? He has way more talent.
And someone else brought this up right here. Ontarius Barnes, he said that he did have the deep ball in college when he was throwing it to James Washington. I remember when they came here and played Pitt at Heinz Field and like absolutely destroyed him. It was a joke out there. That's what everybody was expecting when he came here, but he would not stretch the field in that first stint as a starter. But we did say at times he looked like he was trying to play the role of QB1 instead of just being QB1. It was more so like he's trying to think, okay, I need to do this. I need to say this. I need to act this way. But he looked uptight. And we said that was the difference when Duck would come in. Duck just looked relaxed. Duck played like a guy who was like, yo, I
got nothing to lose.
What, you going to send me home? Okay, you done that already. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm going to just do me. And you could see the free spirit and why he was successful with that and also why he struggled with that. Whereas with Mason, he really looked uptight every time he was out there. It looked like he was playing to not mess up or to not do what QB1 should do or should not be doing. It looked more like that than him just actually playing.
But they finally benched him in that Bengals game. And then when he got his chance again in the Jets, I think that flipped the switch for him somehow, some way, where he almost took on that Duck mentality because they benched him. So it's like, all right, now I come in. What do I have to lose? You bench me again? I already got benched, so let's just let it loose out there. That's what happened in the Jets game. He looked like a completely different player.
Yep. And Rod Dollar agrees. He also says that his deep ball is better than Ben's right now. Oh. No cap with the emoji. He definitely had the guy with the X emoji, and then he has the graduation cap emoji.
Dude, so it's I'm feeling too good this morning to get into this. It was one game, 2 games, kind of game and a half for Mason. I'm not getting into this. I'll take that. I'll still take Ben, dude.
Hey, he didn't say he wouldn't take me. He just said he has a better deep ball than Ben right now. That's all he said, man.
Well, I'm still saying deep ball for Ben too over Mason. He's gonna ball out this year, dude. I'm telling you. We're gonna be checking back on these tapes. I'm gonna look like a damn prophet out here.
I hope so, man. For your sake, I hope so. And then Ancient Ox says that Mason's pocket awareness and check down abilities are really bad. Now, I think it's the first. I think I like his check downs. The pocket awareness, I do agree. I think that he needs to feel the rush a little bit better, understanding where he wants to move, because we talked about how that led to some of the sacks that 2019 season in terms of him either holding it too long. I know him and Duck were doing the like super far drop back thing as well. So yeah, that's definitely something that he's going to have to work on. But I think
there was a play or two even in that Browns game where you kind of thought that.
Yes.
Where you're like, oh man, we're back to this again.
Yes.
But no, he played the game out good. He played the game out good.
But I like in that Browns game, he did start out a little bit more aggressive. We had that Claypool pass. I think that's what got him going. And then from there, he opened it up. But early on, it was very calculated. Very calculated, man.
Yeah.
Oh, but Peter Miles comes to your defense. He says, Ben is the GOAT.
Thank you.
And we're not saying he's not the GOAT. We just said that Mason throws a better deep ball right now. Ain't gonna do it to GOAT.
No, come on.
That's all he said, you know? It was it. It's cool. But it's a difference between, like I said, being talented and actually being able to perform under pressure. An analogy that we would always talk about in terms of performing under pressure was if I get a 2x4, right? You know, just basic piece of wood. I throw it on the floor right now and I say, Deke, walk across this 2x4. You probably walk across that thing with your eyes closed, right? You might even moonwalk like you Michael Jackson. You bad. Hee. Like you got that juice, right? But now if I take that same 2x4 and we go downtown Pittsburgh and I put it across one of them tall buildings and I say, hey, Deke, walk across this 2x4. You're going to be over that thing sweating bullets. You're going to be over here legs shaking. You be like, yo, is that still a 2x4? Still the same 2x4. Your foot hasn't grown any bigger. The 2x4 isn't any narrower. The only difference is what? It's a lot more pressure to succeed. And that's the difference right now when I think of Mason and some of the Dwayne Haskins. They can do the things, they have the talent, but their ability to produce under pressure right now, it's been lacking. They haven't been able to do that consistently. And I think that's why whenever we have these conversations about them, it's so hot or cold, because some of us will see the qualities, but then a lot of us also see where under pressure, these guys aren't doing it. They're not executing the things that we know they're capable of or what we expect, or at least what we have seen from a guy like Ben, right? Ben is up that thing, jump roping one leg, chewing gum and patting his head on that 2x4. Whereas with these guys, we're like, y'all can do that as well. But they I can't. It's the fear of it, man.
Yeah, and there's levels to pressure.
Man.
Like right now, their pressure is, could I become the starting quarterback and just stay consistent?
Yeah.
Then there's next pressure of, can I lead this team to a division? Can I lead this team to a playoffs? Maybe win that game late in the season on Sunday Night Football. Like Ben's already, like, he's done all this like in his rookie season, his second year. We won a Super Bowl.
You talk about, you get the hard stuff out the way at the beginning. 7 knocked that out the park, you know?
Yeah.
But you're right, with Mason and Haskins and Dobbs, none of those guys have had anywhere close to the success of Ben at the beginning of it. And obviously we weren't expecting any of those guys to. And I'm sure in Washington, they expected Haskins to have similar success, but as a whole, we didn't have those same type of expectations. But to just see the scale of it, though, of what Ben was doing earlier versus with these guys, it's like, all right, this is a little different here. It's a little different. But, Benor, he definitely brings up something right here. He says preseason is going to be a show for us Yinzers. I agree, man. I think this is one of those years where it's really going to be 100% exciting watching these preseason games, because you're going to get, in terms of this quarterback battle in particular, you're going to have games where Mason is out there with the ones. You're going to have games where Haskins is out there with the ones. You might even get a game where Dobbs is out there with the ones. And why is that important? Why is that exciting? Because we're going to get a chance to see all of these guys in a good setting. But don't forget the reverse, right? If Haskins is with the ones, that means Mason has to go with the twos this week. If Mason's with the ones, that means Haskins with the twos, and vice versa, and with Dobbs as well. And now we're going to get a chance to see if these guys are as talented as we think they are, if they can put it together consistently in the preseason when they're supposed to be the best player on the field. When you're out there with the ones, we don't expect those guys to be the best player on the field. We know we got studs out there in terms of skilled players. But when they're out there with the twos, if Mason is out there with that 2 offense, if Haskins out there with the 2 offense, it needs to look like how Ben looked in any of his years prior to 18, right? Where it doesn't matter who's out there, he's going to make them look great. That's what it should look like, because the talent gap should be that if Mason or Haskins or Dobbs is capable of being a legit NFL starting quarterback. If Ben is out there in a preseason game in the second half, what do you think it's going to look like? It's going to look like a joke, right? It will. We're playing Madden with the super creative team, everybody 99, and we're playing on rookie mode. That's what it's going to look like. Now, we know that Mason and Haskins, they might not be capable to that extent, but it needs to look gory at times when they're out there with the lesser unit, right? They need to make sure that they're able to elevate those guys' plays, because if they can't elevate those guys, why would I expect them to be able to hold their own as the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers or for another NFL franchise? So that's why for me, I'm like, I can't wait till these preseason games start, man. And we get 4 of them this year too.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. So I was thinking, me personally, I thought of like 1 or 2 things. You know, you said like name absolutely 3 things. Because I don't think this one was mentioned. Actually, I don't think both were mentioned yet. one is just ball security. That is the one thing. He does check the ball down a lot. He wasn't taking his chances. At the same time, with how our defense was playing, we were in the games. It wasn't one of those things you felt great about of, wow, how long is this going to last us into the playoffs? But it was like, we're doing what we need to do to get wins. We were 0-3. We're bouncing back a little bit. He's not turning the ball over outside of that Browns game because what do you have? He had 13.
The Browns game was the one they got him.
He had 13 touchdowns, 9 picks in that 2019 season. But you take away that Browns game, that's only 5 picks.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought he did pretty well for the majority of that 2018 season. Then number 2, I don't want to say this is necessarily a strength, but it is something that he showed me. A lot of Steeler fans, I think a lot of people were questioning Mason Rudolph's mentality, thinking he was weak-minded throughout that 2019 season. For him to bounce back like that against the Jets and then also the Browns to see how like he handles himself, like that showed me something. I don't know if I want to say mental toughness, but you got to show a little bit of that at least.
No,
so I don't want to say he's as mentally tough as some of these great quarterbacks out there, but it's a step in the right direction for sure. And I was really impressed with those last 2 games.
No, I agree, man. For me, the 3 things that I said that I had written down or whatever, number 1 was his deep ball placement. I thought in week 17, he showed really good consistency on his deep ball. It carried over from what we saw that previous year in that Jets game. It just confirmed it for me. So deep ball placement was the first thing. Command of the offense, I thought was the second thing in terms of how he addresses the huddle. He is a natural leader in terms of when he commands the huddle, he commands the huddle. When he is at the line of scrimmage and he's going through his progressions, he is in charge. I like that. We've seen quarterbacks where they aren't in control of that offense. They don't look like they're able to talk to these guys and generate that same type of respect that's needed. I have seen that with him. I've communicated with guys that respect him and talk about him in that vein. So I do like the fact of his command of the offense. So those are my first 2 things. And then the third thing was the toughness, because we talk about the Myles Garrett situation.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, that was not easy to deal with in the physical sense or in the mental sense of everything that transpired after the fact. And then when you talk about a guy who was having a rocky performance in that game, for him to be able to bounce back in that Jets game at the end of the year, get hurt, then come back, Cowboys game, right? Rocky in that little 2-3 plays, but then not let that deter him from week 17 against the Browns, where he's still able to come out here and play at a high level. The mental toughness on him, I absolutely love, because we know since he's been drafted, he's been criticized. Since he's been drafted, he met the rocky road of Ben early. Remember, Ben said in the interview, well, if he asks for help, I'm not going to talk to him. I'm just going to point to the playbook. That was your boy. He said that, leader.
He's helping him out, man. He's helping him out.
Point to the playbook.
This is the right page.
Yeah, he just say you're going to point to the playbook. That's what he said. He said, I'm not here to mentor. He's like, I'm pointing to the playbook. So for him to have to deal with that as your first introduction, but then you still are here. You're still in the mix. You still feel like you want to be here, because he could have turned down the 1-year, $5 million deal that they sent him. He could have turned that down, but he said, no, I feel like this is the best opportunity. I want to be here. I like it here. So with that, I'm like, man, that's mental toughness, baby, for a big time way right there.
Yeah. So where do we go next with this? Do you think he can be a starting QB just in the NFL?
So look at you over here stealing my notes, man.
Yeah.
Asking me, can he be a starting quarterback in the NFL? Before I get to my answer, y'all let me know in the comment section if y'all think that Mason can be a starting quarterback, just a QB1, not franchise quarterback, not the franchise quarterback of the Pittsburgh Steelers, just QB1. Do you think Mason Rudolph can be QB1 in the NFL? Let us know in the comments. And then also Kareem Rayford, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed. Welcome. All right. We're getting the answers coming in. So, because, we can't give our answer just right out the jump. Then it takes me some of the suspense, right?
Let it play out a little bit.
Got to let it cook a little bit. Just let it simmer. We put it on low.
If Danny Dimes could be a starter, so can Mason.
All right, get these comments. Get these comments real quick, man.
Whoa. We got, he can maybe start in Houston. Yeah, so like him versus Tyrod. Is there 2 or 3 quarterbacks? Someone said Tua.
Denver, definitely.
Someone just said Danny Dimes.
He can compete in Denver.
That's probably 4 or 5 teams.
He can compete in Denver,
coming up for this season.
Yeah.
At least you give him a chance. This is what I said earlier too. I mean, you could give him a chance.
If you're San Fran and you're not going Trey Lance, do you like him over Jimmy G?
Ryan Clark did it a couple years ago.
Yeah, he definitely. That made me think of it. I'm like, is that another one that's potentially in the mix there?
Yeah, but I guess since they got Trey Lance, there's no chance of that.
Well, that's what I was saying in general. But like, if you're not going Trey Lance this year, would you have taken
if you're just saying, hey, I'm sitting Lance no matter what, like Mahomes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, it could be a competition, I guess, maybe.
Yeah,
I mean, Garoppolo's obviously had the better NFL success, but Mason does have that unknown factor, and sometimes you like that unknown where it's just like, let's see what he could do. There's a lot of tape out there on Garoppolo. A lot of people are down on him, whereas like the stocks are reversed, in my opinion. Garoppolo definitely has the more productivity. He took the 49ers to a Super Bowl, but based off last season, stocks down a little bit. Mason, definitely less productivity in that 2019 season. Everyone was down on him, but his last 2 games, stocks up a little bit.
Stocks back up. Toxic One North says he thinks that Mason's a top 25 quarterback, and he would take him over like 8 or 9 team starters right now. I mean, we just we rattled off of 4 right there, just spitballing. I'm sure if we dove into it a little bit more.
It's tough because it's just based off those 2 games, which it's hard to say definitively, like Mason over Danny Dimes. But I wouldn't mind seeing a competition. I don't think it'd be disrespectful if you're the Giants and somehow you acquired Mason Rudolph to make that a competition.
What about if you are in Green Bay and no Rodgers and you're looking at Jordan Love, who was your first round draft
I
pick?
think that'd be a good competition.
I think that could work.
That'd be fair.
I'm trying to think, where else could we see potentially some action like that? And obviously, we're not saying that he's going to be moved or anything like that. We're just spitballing different teams where we think that he could
trying to
start
gauge his value across the league.
Let's see. We've talked Detroit, maybe Jared Goff. Well, no, I'd probably go Goff over him.
You would, but that's what I'm saying. Like, would it be so disrespectful if we brought him in for a competition?
I don't feel like it would though.
Or at least if you start Goff at the beginning of the season, it's just like this isn't going right. Let's pull with Mason middle of the season.
Yeah, because I don't feel like Goff has done it to that extent. I mean, like he has his
same
success,
thing with Garoppolo.
But a lot of people
it's the same
is it scheme? Was it McVay? Obviously, with Garoppolo, was it the team around him? When you win a playoff game the way that he did, it looks real teamish. It looks real schemish as well. Not Atlanta, no, because they still got Matty Ice down there. New Orleans, though, you got Jameis. Would you have him in competition? I feel like if they got Taysom Hill competing with Dagon Jameis,
I think you could. I think Jameis would win that though. I do think
he should.
I think he's going to be pretty solid coming off this year that he was sitting, being in the Saints system like that because he has a ton of talent. Carolina? There's a reason he was the first overall pick.
What about Carolina? Sam Darnold, right?
Oh yeah,
that's
fair. That's fair.
He was somebody that we talked about. Okay, if he came here, what would that look like? So I think that Mason would he could be in that conversation to compete with him in Carolina. And let's see, where else? Is that it? Tennessee, no. Indianapolis, no. Well, nah, because Wentz will probably win that. Wentz should win that. Healthy Wentz should win it.
Eagles though.
Well, Jalen. They got Jalen out there. And I thought they brought in someone else.
I don't know who they brought in.
Yeah, I thought they brought in someone else as well, but I know Jalen is out there though, so I'm still rolling with Jalen.
Oh, I agree, but actually,
I don't think it's disrespectful though.
That's what I mean, to bring him in case something goes. Right. It almost like the Jared Goff situation up in Detroit.
Yeah,
you just bring him in as backup, but you're a little bit more apt to pull Hurts if something's going wrong in the middle of the season to give Rudolph a chance. So is that where we're at? Where it's like, well, I don't think you could. If you're a team, you wouldn't definitively trade for Mason and say you're QB1.
Yeah,
but you could bring him in and have him compete with like maybe 8 or 9 teams.
Yeah. Now Savage, he brought up this team. He says, "What about the Raiders?"
Oh yeah, I'm not a big fan of Derek Carr.
Yeah, I know you're not.
He puts up the stats, but I'm just not the biggest fan.
But now Ancient says Mason is not better than Wentz. Sorry, he also and then we also had where is it? Oh man, it moved the screen on me. No. Oh, and here we go. And Ancient also says that Mason is definitely not better than Dalton either. Now, I agree. I think Andy Dalton doesn't get the respect because he played in Cincinnati. Andy Dalton's a good quarterback. He's just not a great quarterback. He's a more consistent Kirk Cousins to me. Like Kirk Cousins, he's going to give you some crazy productivity, then he's going to have some crazy fall offs. I think with Dalton, he just has a high floor, but his ceiling is going to forever be limited. So he's always going to be a good quarterback. We saw the success that he was able to have in terms of Pro Bowls and leading teams to division championships. But whenever he is going to have to go up against those elite quarterbacks when it gets to the postseason, he's always going to struggle because of those limitations. But Dalton's definitely a good quarterback, man. And it hurts me to say that because I don't like him. Not that I don't like him, I just don't like him.
With Mason, though, well, rebuttal to one of those comments is we're not saying he's definitively better than all these quarterbacks.
Right.
We've such a small sample size from when, I guess, to show that potential that he is good over this past season, because he hasn't played at all. Yeah. So we saw those 2 games, and you're just like,
and I'm
wow.
glad you clarified that too, because that is something that always gets lost, right? If we're talking about a player, it's always the assumption that we're saying that if we're speaking of that player positively, is they have to be the guy. We think they're going to be the heir apparent. It's like, we're not saying that. We're just simply just thinking of teams that he could compete on.
What's his value around the league? I think he can compete with 8 or 9 teams, quarterback situations that are out there. Now,
Toxic One North also says Patriots. What about that? Now, they got Mac Jones and Cam Newton. Healthy Cam, I'm taking healthy Cam. And
I wouldn't mess with any of these first round quarterbacks. I mean, Mac, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. That if you're those teams, you just give them the spot. You're not doing this competition stuff.
Absolutely. Now, Bro High brings up a good point here. He says Game 17 Rudolph is better than 2020 Carson Wentz.
Yeah, that's our point. It's just that we're only going off like 2 games with Mason.
Yeah. Whereas the whole season,
where you see this upside. Whereas, Wentz has had solid seasons in the NFL. Goff has had solid seasons. Garoppolo, but
Pro Bowl seasons for those guys.
Well, I was gonna say, from what we saw in Mason in those 2 games, does that give you hope or the thought that he could surpass those guys throughout his career? Like, could he be better than those guys? That's the main question you're asking.
I think basically we've seen enough of a framework to see, all right, Kirk
At least
Cousins,
you'd give
Jimmy
him a chance.
G, like that vein, and he's worth a chance. He's still young. He's still a young quarterback, still in his rookie contract, essentially. So I would give him a chance. But do I think he's gonna morph into a franchise quarterback? Right now, I don't think he will. Now, I hope he proves me wrong. I hope he develops into that. But for me right now, I just don't think that he is capable of doing that. I feel like when you talk about the franchise quarterbacks, you always bring up your it factors.
You just know.
Yeah. And it's one of those things, like, you can just see certain players that have it or they don't. I always laugh about it factor because you can't really put a definition on it, but you just feel it. And when you watch Mason, he really hasn't shown that, even in the games where he's played well in that first year starting, because remember, he had some games where he played well. It just was never like
Dolphins, Bengals.
It was never this gaudy performance where we're wowed, but he played well. But I just never felt like if game is on the line and I'm down, I can roll the ball out and I know this guy's going to get
down
it done.
10, double digits.
Like, I just don't, personally, me right now, I don't think he's capable of that. And honestly, if it's 32 teams, 25 of them at least don't have that quarterback either. So it's not a Mason thing. It's a lot of quarterbacks thing. A lot of teams don't have that type of guy. And that's the reason why we call franchise quarterbacks and why they get paid what they get paid. And they are treated the way they're treated. They're rare, very rare. But I just don't think that Mason is in that category right now. Now, hopefully he can develop into that, but I just don't think he is right now. But what say you, man?
About what? If he's a franchise guy, has the it factor? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. I think you bring up a good point of like, hey, we're down 10. We just need you to get us the win here. Mm-hmm. Bring us back in this game.
Like, can you make that happen?
But to his defense, the small sample size, he hasn't really had those opportunities. Although the larger sample size was 2019. He played in what he started in 8 games, 9 games, played in 10. And we did not really see that in any moments. The Rams game, there might have been I'm trying to remember. There might have been a chance for him to like close out the game, but we relied on the defense.
Yeah, well, and that was the funny game. I remember that. But that was the rough start to that game too. And Mason honestly played well in that game. But remember, we had the turnover. We had the errant snap, and then was it Deontay that fumbled? Because remember, my boy Roby Coleman.
I think James Washington.
That's who it was. Yeah, he had the fumble over there. So it was a lot of little things like that were taking place in that game. But yeah, that probably would have been his closest opportunity.
Well, I will bring up the Browns game. That's the thing. The Jets and the Browns game, he pseudo did that because in the Jets game, we were down with Duck. Yeah. He brought us back. I think we were tied up, but then he unfortunately got hurt. So we didn't get to see that play out. He maybe could have done that in the second half, what we're talking about. And then in the Browns game, we were down in that, and he kind of let us back. I do attribute that to a little bit of, hey, it's 4th down. We're chucking it up to Claypool. Yeah, it was a great pass, but it wasn't those things where he's like dominant, in control.
Gotcha.
I'm just owning the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
We saw glimpses of that, though,
true,
in those 2 games. But
well, and see, I thought of this, though, right? We talk about in those clutch moments, and he throws it up to Claypool. I agree, but do you remember what happened on the 2-point conversion?
I mean, we didn't get it.
Yeah, and it was like,
didn't Juju drop it?
I don't think it was a drive. It was more so I ain't like the pass. I just remember like the pass. Oh my goodness, if I remember correctly,
wasn't it a quick slant?
Yeah, but it was like it wasn't there though, and he just predetermined that he was gonna throw that ball there. And that was the thing that I remember saying to myself, like, I didn't like the call, but I also really didn't like just the decision to go there. And I remember in the heat of the moment, a lot of us, where I was, because we were doing a watch party as well, we were just saying like, yo, why would you do that? Like, if you need to pump it, but it wasn't there. It was clear it wasn't there. So that was my only thing with him in terms of just the finishing part. But that goes back to that confidence and the it factor and just being able to find a way. Like, if that's 7, especially vintage 7, we know, man, all right, if it's not there, he will pump that thing. He don't care if he was about to throw it. We've seen him pump fake where it was, you knew he really wanted to throw that ball and he saw the defender at the last second. He's done that. And then from there, he's going to make the play afterwards. Those are the things that the off schedule, the being able to improvise. That's the stuff that I feel like goes heavily into that it factor, that franchise quarterback mode.
Yeah, I'm even just thinking of moments like Ravens game back in like 2010, 2011 playoffs. We were down, I think we were down 21 or something like that, and we come back. Could Mason do that?
Yeah,
that's the question. I don't see it.
And as people were bringing up the Big Ben to Santonio Holmes touchdown throw, they're saying like, is Mason able to do that? And they're also saying was Ben lucky in that.
Oh, come on.
I seen Jim say bad throw, Holmes made a great catch.
Oh my god.
I've seen Ben Bro says Ben is the GOAT. Then I see NSMC says it was the most perfect throw in Super Bowl history. Then I saw somebody, and then Big Kel 6 says it was a terrible pass.
Oh my god. These are terrible takes. That thing was a dime. Over 3 defenders. People need to watch that last drive because they don't understand what happened when we were on the 10-yard line. We almost got a safety with how bad our line was. And Ben dodged the defenders, got it out to Heath. Yeah, I think actually, they got a flag right off the bat. It was 1st and 20.
Yeah, that's funny.
That drive was incredible. I can't believe that. They got to be trolling me, right? That pass was a dime.
Yeah, I like the pass. I never knew it was but see, that's
Holmes dropped the easier one. He dropped one. He was wide open.
I don't remember it like that. Like I wasn't a fan. Yeah, I was. It was other
dude. It was 1st down, man. Like Holmes was wide open. He dropped a wide open ball, and then that play happened. The next one.
That's funny. It's so I always enjoy because I'm new, like I said, to like that diehard like Steeler fandom. Hearing the different like civil wars that we have amongst us, like it's a great play. Obviously, we have a Super Bowl MVP based on that play, but yet the way we will break down this play and we're picking sides of who was right, who was wrong, who was better, who was more impactful in that play, the MVP debate in that game, like it is so funny. And like I would have never known that if I didn't start talking to you. Like I would have had no clue. I would have never known that has really been a thing of who should Ben have got that MVP or not, or was that a good throw or not. I would have never known this type of stuff, man.
I didn't know anyone was debating the throw, actually. This is news to me. These people are crazy.
Yeah, man. Jim says, look how extended Holmes had to be to make the catch. Wow.
I can't take these comments seriously.
Wow. Rod Dallas says, great pass, great catch.
Thank you. Thank you.
Wow. And then Moneybag says that throw was a dime.
It was unreal.
Yeah.
Dare I say greatest throw in Super Bowl history, NFL history.
And then Jim's rebuttal was, who won MVP?
It should have been Ben. I will go to the grave saying that. I have my reasons. I've said them countless times, but I do think it should have been Ben. I'm good with Holmes winning it because Holmes balled out that game, but
And
I do think
who
it
was a
should have
guest
been
on the
better.
show?
Holmes was a guest.
Okay.
I should have asked him that.
Yeah. You should have, bro.
I didn't have that big Deke energy at the time.
Super small that day.
I know.
It was cool.
I
It
know.
happens. Oh, man. That is funny, though. And it was some... and then Big Kel also brings up this about that Holmes bin play. He says Holmes had said that they practiced that play all year, and it never worked until the game.
It factor.
Shout out to Holmes. He has it. I mean, technically they both have it, but he definitely has it. And we got the MVP trophy.
Ah, come on.
We had a Super Bowl MVP on our show. What are you talking about?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah. We talked the Super Bowl MVP, right? You know.
I'm not gonna say take it away. I'm not gonna say that, but Ben should have won it. I'll put it that way.
I love when you get worked up. Oh man, that was funny. All good.
Are we good with the Mason talk? Anything we
are,
missed?
man. We are, because we talked about, do we think he could be a starting quarterback?
I think we covered everything.
We talked about, obviously, it's not necessarily focusing here in Pittsburgh. And we obviously hit on the differences with him and Haskins in terms of just being able to perform under pressure. And the last thing before we do transition, I always find it funny when I think of those two guys, Mason and Haskins. They seem like an invert of each other, inversion. Whereas Haskins, clear talent, he shows it, but it's more so mental for him, right? Is he mature enough to be the starting quarterback? Is he mature enough to be a franchise quarterback? Can he lead the offense? Can he make good decisions? Whereas with Mason, it's like he's going to make all the right decisions. He's going to say everything you want. He can lead. He's going to be QB1 by definition to the full T of it. But the on field, can he do that? Is he capable? Is he gifted enough to make these throws consistently and stuff like that? I always just find it funny, because if we could just take Mason's mental approach and put it with Haskins' physical approach, we'd have a dope quarterback. We'd have Ben.
Wow.
That's what we'd have. But right now, we don't have that. Right now, we're hoping, searching, and wishing. So we're going to see as this thing continues to progress, though.
What do you mean? We already got QB1 for like the next 3-4 years.
Oh, yeah. Next 30 years. I forgot.
He's already on the roster.
I'm doing the math. And since it's 2021 on National Dotson Day, Big Deke Day, let's see, 69 years from today, we're going to be looking at Ben as the starting quarterback in 2090. Yeah. 2090, he'll still be the starting quarterback of your Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yeah.
I'm excited about that, man. We're going to be old and gray by then, though. God, dog. All right.
Wheelchair. I think at that point, there'll be like a rocket attached to the wheelchair where you can just press buttons. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
it could like simulate his throws from like 2010.
You're going to have to have like, I mean, because you got the big Deke energy, you're going to need like 2 rockets then to, simulate what you got carrying around and what you throwing out here to these people.
My takes. Yeah, because I'll be old by then. I'll be old. Who knows what technology's going to be out there.
We have oxygen tanks. Ben's the greatest. Ben's the greatest.
I'll have a hologram probably of myself.
I'm like, yo, how do you, all these breaths, these breaths at this age are very vital, and you're going to waste the breath saying that, Deke? He's still going to be the quarterback 20 years from now.
Mason goes on to win like 6 Super Bowls. I'm still saying Ben's better.
Ben is the GOAT.
Yeah.
And they said, how old is Deke? Deke is 40. Yeah, Deke, don't let Deke fool y'all. Deke be trying to act like he's young. Deke is 40. Yeah. Look at, he got gray hair. He's 40.
Yeah. I have some health techniques that are helping me look youthful. Yeah.
TB12 diet. He eats a lot of kale. Yeah, you're a soy milk guy. You're almond.
No, you can't mess with that soy, dude.
Oh yeah. You
can't mess with
the
that
soy. You're right. It's not pure either, man.
No, that's no good.
Nah, definitely skim milk. All right. So now we go to this next topic, which is these PFF rankings on your O-line. Lord have mercy. They done it again. Oh, Lord, they done it again, Deke. Deke, they done it again, Deke. Deke, can we talk about it real quick?
I'm not as outraged about this one.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I'm not either. I said,
we were saying this all last year.
You might have got this one right.
Here's the thing. I swear we were saying it all through last year.
Yeah,
we got a bottom 5 offensive line, and they just so happen to have us at 29.
Oh man, 29.
I will say I do think we're gonna end up being higher than this at the end of the season. But as of right now, what type of argument do we have to stand on? to be outrageous about. We lose Pouncey, which definitely wasn't his best season last year.
True.
We have a 3-way competition at center between B.J. Finney, J.C. Hassenauer, and a rookie.
But a rookie with a nickname. Ben
What's his
calls
nickname?
him KG. That's what Ben calls him.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. I said, I low-key was
KG,
like, dang.
Kevin Garnett.
I was like, man, when Ben gave him a nickname after a couple practices. I said, so this guy must have impressed in a big-time way, baby.
So, KG.
Yeah.
What else was I going to say? Yeah, his nickname's KG.
Mm-hmm.
He's got the 5'3" from Pouncey. Like,
he does.
This dude better perform.
Yeah. Goat. Day one, All-Pro.
That's tough. No. I swear to God, though. Hold on. I did see this headline.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to look into the article, but I'm going to type it in again because I think this was... All right, here it is. You know what, dude? I'm not even against the headline. I like this type of shit, but it's hilarious. Did you see this?
I did not. Go.
Kendrick Green could become the greatest center in Steelers history.
Yo.
Just Google it. Just Google Kendrick Green. It's the first thing.
In Steelers history?
It's the first thing that pops up.
Do we know how think about Steelers history at center? They're impeccable.
Now, the headline could just be strictly clickbait where they say in the first sentence, hey, I was just trying to get you into this article. But like,
I would hope
that's why I'm not clicking on it. I'm not clicking on it because it's got to be either that or they're going to make the case that he could be the best center, which, hey, I'm not opposed to. Sure.
Dude.
He's got every opportunity in front of him here.
I mean, where does Pouncey rank in terms of Steelers centers?
Probably second.
Okay. Who would you have at first?
Webster.
Okay.
I think Dermontti Dawson's third. He's a Hall of Famer then.
Let's think about that.
Who else we got in there? There's definitely another good center or two we've had.
I mean, those are 3 legit, surefire Hall of Famers. And we're saying that KG's going.
I mean, isn't Mike Webster? Some people
He's
consider him the greatest center in the NFL of all time. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think people understand what this. Like, are you sure? Like, dude, that's wow. And I like KG so far. I haven't met him yet, but I like what I seen on tape from him. But
I don't even think I can make that bold of a take,
dude. I didn't even put that on Pouncey, and I love Pouncey. Like, I think Pouncey is one of the best centers to ever play this game. But I don't think that he is the best center.
In the first round.
Right. And he played center. It's not like KG.
Yeah, he was guard and played some center.
Yeah, totally different. And now we're saying that he's going to be the, like, whoa.
Like, I even understand my Dotson all-pro, Pro Bowl takes.
Yeah.
A little bit of a hot take. But those are actually more reasonable than this.
Yeah.
This might be the boldest thing I've ever seen.
This is pretty significant. This is pretty bold, man.
I like it though.
Why not? Bold, man.
Why not?
It's pretty bold.
Let's hype up our guy.
Absolutely. let us know in the comment section as well how y'all feel about the Pittsburgh Steelers offensive line being rated as the 29th best in the NFL. Is that too high? Is that too low? Is it just right? Underrated, overrated, right? Was it overrated, underrated, just right? I mean, how we feel about this?
It's fine. It's fine heading into the season, in my opinion. It's fine heading into the season. I think it will be a little bit better. The reasoning,
though, you just jump into it. Like, you weren't even supposed to. That was your goal to give your answer just yet, man. We're supposed to get their answers, man. But
my bad.
It's all love, man. We do what we want.
No, I got some more.
Deke
I got some more. We can hold off on that a little bit and let's see what people got to say.
And then also before we start getting to the rest of their comments, we do got to talk about Barilla92. Shout out to him real quick, man. He did say that I should just get Deke a signed Big Ben jersey for the bet. Even though I do, plus I feel like that does exceed the $200 value. Just throwing it out there, definitely does.
I'm good, bro. I'm good.
All right, but we got to get you the jersey though. $200, man.
I know. What jersey? Well, you already know where I'm thinking with that.
And I like what you're thinking too.
No, for sure. It was mentioned in the comments. Actually, I'll drop a little bit of a hint.
It was
mentioned in the comments.
It definitely was.
But now here's the thing, though.
Uh-oh.
What if the jersey's like a little over 100? Do I still have money left over?
I mean, you should.
Okay.
Or you're saying if you bought like a jersey for $50, do you get the remaining $150 afterwards?
Yeah.
That is not how it works. That's a cash bet. We did a cash bet. We said a jersey up to $200 in value. So like if you wanted to make that jersey be $200, it's a $200 jersey. If you want that jersey to be a $70 jersey, it's a $70 jersey. But the bet is the jersey, Right. That's what I thought we had.
Unless, wasn't I thinking of something last podcast where it's like, I just want to get a bunch of jerseys on eBay.
If that's the case, yeah, I'm not about to change. That's all I'm saying. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because I was thinking that's you're getting me here. Like,
I was thinking the same way. Like, if you were gonna get your Jordan jersey, like even if it was like 150,
right.
It's not like I'd be giving you the extra 50.
Right. It's just whatever the jersey was. Like that's that. Yeah.
Okay. Gotcha.
Can't give change like that.
I mean, that eBay thing's kind of an option though in terms of value.
It is though. Yeah.
I could just be coming in with heat all day.
You could. You definitely
like for
could,
the whole
man.
season. I just have heat. Like I have jerseys scheduled for each
every episode.
Week. Yeah.
Different one.
Man.
Dope.
I don't know. I can't go against my initial thought. I mean, what am I doing here? It's a free jersey. I shouldn't be like thinking too much into it.
You can't go wrong with it, man. But you take your time because you don't want to waste on the free. You want to make sure you get the good one or whatever one you really want for the free. And then you go on from there.
Sure.
But getting back to this O-line conversation, our friend that we know / don't know, John Doe, he says our O-line is completely an unknown. I do agree. We don't really. I mean, we have what? I think in the article they talked about us having essentially 4 new starters going into this year. Obviously, DeCastro's the only returning starter because with Chooks, even though he was a starter last year, he's switching positions. He's going from right tackle to left tackle. He started 1 year at right tackle, hasn't started in the NFL at left tackle. And then obviously Banner, he's played, but he hasn't had a substantial amount of starting experience either. We know Dotson's very short not short, but small in terms of his sample size. And yeah, we named a trio of centers. Yeah. KG, the rookie prodigy.
I mean, he's going to be starting. He better be starting.
BJ Finney and then JC Hassenauer. So, yeah, it's still a lot of question marks. I do think KG is going to end up starting at some point. I'm not sure that it's going to be out the gate, though, man. I just, like I said, I need to see.
You've been saying that.
Yeah, because it's just different. Like, you're going from playing guard to center full time. It's a different vibe to that, man. So, and when you're talking about veteran guys that now, I'm not saying we've talked about BJ and JC Hassenauer. We feel like they're the same people in terms of their ceiling and floor. But with both of those guys, we know who they are. With KG, we think he has way more potential, but we don't know what his floor is just yet as a center at the NFL level. Whereas we've seen BJ come in and start for our Pittsburgh Steelers multiple games, and the O-line look good. We've seen JC Hassenauer come in. I don't think he had a start.
I think he did.
2 starts, right? I think he had like 2 or 3 starts, but just at center. He's played guard as well, but at center, and he's had some success as well. So for me, I'm just like, okay, all right. I'm not just going to give it to him then. I think, he's going to have to earn this one. It's going to be a little bit of a fight for him. But in the end, he should surpass those guys at some point this season. And I just think the sooner he picks it up, the better it'll be for everyone involved.
Yeah, a lot of people are agreeing with the rating, actually. No one's outraged. Can't really rate them until you see them play. This is from Kareem Rayford.
Okay.
I think that's fair assessment.
NSMC99 says, nah, man, Hassenauer is finna be the best center ever.
What? What?
Go.
Wait, where is this?
This is right, and this is from an upper room member as well. This is validated. This is signed, sealed, delivered.
Why do we draft Kendrick Green?
Need depth. He'll compete with Dotson.
That's a hot take.
Super hot.
This is something. That's honestly something man. I think one of my boys would just come on here and comment just to troll.
Yeah, that's so funny, bro. Yeah. Oh, now Alex Smith says it's disrespect. He feels like they should at least be rated 19 in the league.
Oh man, I don't know. Here's the thing: I'm not going through all these teams and like, hey,
I guess my
Steelers are better than the Jets, the Bears. I don't know enough. I know the top 5 lines, and I think they were pretty good with this. The Browns, the Colts, Patriots at 3. Isn't that a little high? Aren't they a little down?
No, they have the opt-outs. They should be getting
Bucks though for sure. They're in the top 5. Yeah, I think their top 5 is fine. Would you rate them higher? I don't have any leg to stand on to say, hey.
For me, man, when I thought about
they should be 23.
Like when I thought about moving them up, it was only a couple of spots tops. I was like, when I saw, I think it was Cincinnati. They were the ones. Cincinnati at 24. I was just a little.
They did make some improvements.
They did, but that was the one for me where I was still just kind of like, I'm going to need to see that one for them to be
Sure.
that much ahead of us at 24 compared to us being at 29. That was my biggest thing. But I was
This
like,
is different than the Steelers shit, though, where it's like, all right, you can bump us up 2 spots, but I don't really care. The Steeler thing, like, we should be in the top 10. You ranked us 18.
Yeah. But our O-line was pretty bad.
What do you think of their Dotson rating here? I don't like this, where they say...
Because they say it was like 55 or 65 or something. And he was the highest rated guy. Because I know they said DeCastro had a bad rating, his lowest rating since he's been the starter or something like that.
They say Dotson's pass protection was 87. Run game was 55. We were very high on Dotson's run game blocking.
Yeah.
So that's confusing to me.
I can see that. PFF doing what they do. Because, yeah,
I thought Dotson was just all around solid.
I thought as
well.
So,
like, his pass protection should be a solid grade, but so should his running blocking.
But, you know, what could also have happened in terms of when they grade these O-linemen. I don't know, because I don't follow how they grade everybody and to that extent. But if it's more so positive performance by him, but as a whole, if the play was a negative run play, is that docking him? You know?
Yeah, because we didn't have any good run plays.
Yeah, and could be it.
But when he was in, there was some positivity we saw.
Yeah, but it wasn't like the game was just drastically different and we had a magical running game all of a sudden. That wasn't the case either. But we could point out that he was playing well, and that was the good thing. And that's why we're extremely high on him going forward. But
I get what you're saying.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he could be a really good player. It's the equivalent of...
Well, that's how usually you grade offensive linemen too. It's just about the whole performance.
Right, because I think of, like, for example, the Nets and Bucks game, right, the other day. They were down by like 50 at one point, but Giannis still got buckets. So it's like, oh, all right. Does everybody suck on that whole team? Or Giannis was good, but the rest of them played bad? Like, that's the whole type of thing when I think of Dotson and his grade from a running standpoint. He played well, but as a unit, we know our run block was at times, yeah.
It was anemic.
Oh man, I'm glad you said anemic. I was trying to think of a nice way to put
fancy word.
Yeah, man. I just, without saying I want to throw up in my mouth watching them, you know, like, huh. But yeah, so does look like a lot of them are agreeing though, man.
Yeah, end of the day, I've said this before. If you want to rate us that going in, fine. Yeah. I do think we're going to improve though this year.
We better.
We have to, yeah.
Not just for Ben's sake, but for Najee's sake. I don't want Najee running behind that situation that it was last year. Lord, that could be bad for you. Whew. But it should be improved, though. Because on a positive note, we know that Banner is built to run the ball. We know Banner is built to run block. He's definitely going to be able to do that. He's a big physical man, has that nastiness on the field. We know DeCastro, when healthy, what he brings to the table. We've talked about why we like KG, but at the same time, what BJ and JC bring to the table as well from a positive standpoint, and understanding that we can get through a couple of games with BJ and JC. I don't feel comfortable with those guys being the 17-game starter. But if your spot starting, which they're, trust me, 17-game season plus playoffs, they're going to have a start here or there at guard or center. And they're going to play well. That's what they're capable of. Whereas we think KG, though, he can be that guy where you're like, hey, he's starting from here on. Like, it doesn't matter. So I like that positivity. And like we said, we're very high on Dotson. I think I would probably, and this is what I wanted to ask you too. I asked this on my show the other day, and for the comment section as well. Which position are you more confident with on our offensive line? Our tackle position or the center position? Because both positions are very green in terms of experience, right? Banner doesn't have a lot of experience at right tackle. Chooks hasn't started at left tackle, but he started in the league at right tackle, obviously. And then you got Dan Moore, the rookie. But then at the center position, you have KG, who we're extremely high on, but he hasn't played center at the NFL level when he only has 4 games of it at the collegiate level. And then you have BJ and JC, who've started, but we know they're limited. So who do you feel like, which position group are you more confident with? The tackles as a whole, right and left tackle together, or the center position for us right now, man?
My answer is pretty simple. I'm more confident in center because there's less to mess up. It's only one person as opposed to the tackles. There's 2 you got to get right. Yeah. There's more pressure on the tackles as opposed to the center. Not saying there's not pressure on the center, but we drafted Green 3rd round. It feels like everyone's high on him. He's performing in these little OTAs, and Ben's giving him a nickname. So like you said, there's got to be some type of reason we drafted him, and I feel I just feel somewhat confident. And it's only one player as opposed to the 2 tackles. Whereas like left tackle's a big deal. Right tackle's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
That's my take. It's pretty simple. Like I'm not out here gonna say like, oh man, this dude's technique's better than this one or anything like that. It's just one player at center. Yeah. We got 2 players at tackle. All of them are unknown, but I guess Kendrick Green's actually got more of the pedigree than the other 2 positions just based off where he was drafted. And it seems like people are high on him. So I'm a little bit more confident in center.
I like it.
As dumb as that may sound.
No. I wanted to hear the logic behind it because that does make sense. Like you said, if a center, the biggest thing that a center can do to be shown, right, or to see their mess up is a bad snap. Pouncey, when he had the bad snaps, that's when people just said his whole game was trash, right? Even though we're like, well, no, he can still do this well. He still is doing that well in this game. The whole game is trash because he couldn't snap. So if a center can at least get that part right, we're fine. But with the tackles, like you said, man, they got a lot going on out there. When they mess up, Ben can get killed.
Yeah.
Like legitimately, like blasted. So yeah, definitely feel your pressure on that, man. Now Moneybags says this. He says it's even in terms of his confidence with those guys. Man, we're not going for Switzerland. We're going for pick a side. All right, pick a side. Now we got Mason. Mason says he feels better about center just because of the depth that we have. If BJ is Garbo one game, throw JC in. Or you could throw KG in and vice versa. But you have options. Whereas at the tackle position, if Banner isn't good at right tackle, we're screwed. If
that's a good point,
isn't good at left tackle, we could potentially be screwed because
we have Dan Moore and we picked up that dude from the Bucks. Is that it?
Right. Yeah. So like I said, it could be not a lot of options out there.
Am I missing someone we have for depth? I think that's it.
It probably is somebody. I'd have to look. But off the top of my head, I mean,
there's a reason. There's a reason we don't know his name.
Stop it, man. We're not doing that. Don't disrespect these people out here. Now, Ancient Ox says if Chooks is our starting left tackle, Ben won't make it a whole season. Oh man. But then LeJean Howard says Big Al was trash and anyone is an upgrade over him. Now we've heard that sentiment as well. Time will tell.
He was trash in some big moments.
He had some bad moments.
Half the season he was pretty solid. Yes, other half it was pretty terrible.
He definitely had some bad moments.
It was like, why would we resign this dude?
Yeah. All right. Let's see. I'm seeing some Dan Moore. People are saying let's get some Dan Moore action. Yeah, people aren't really a fan of Chooks' game.
Some people are high on Dan Moore.
Yeah, because
I've seen some highlight tapes.
Yeah, people. You're funny.
I'm telling you, OTAs. There was like a hidden tape apparently with Roland Rivers that he released on his YouTube account.
Oh, okay.
So it showed him throwing, but like some of the rookies were in it and stuff, and people saw Dan Moore going off.
Okay.
But then he had to take it down.
Oh yeah, you can't have that. Yeah, that's.
Some people are high on Dan Moore over the hidden tapes.
I like it. I forgot we had somebody else do that. They got in trouble. It was doing like one-on-ones during OTAs, and they put it on their IG. And it's like when IG was like first coming in, and I remember we had that meeting. You cannot post what we do in practice on your social media. If the film is on your iPad, that is strictly for Steeler personnel only. Do not post it because like younger guys or guys that might get bad reps from fans who just say, oh, you had a bad play in a game and you're trash. They would record the clips of them versus good players like, dude, this is versus such and such. This is versus this guy. Look at me. I'm locking him down. Yeah. Like if you're a free agent, you can do that. It's funny. It's fine. People like it. I'm sure coaches and GMs really don't care because it's like, dude, we got access to that same tape. If you would like that, you would be signed right now. But like seriously, but they do that. Some of the guys do it, but it's always funny right there. But yeah, so I do see Dan Moore. Yeah. Jamar says I got Dan Moore starting after week 2. Whew, that is early. John Doe, the guy that we know / don't know, he says let's go Dan Moore. Has somebody ask about Morgan Moses as well?
Oh
yeah, we're still no news on him, but what's going on with him along with Malik Hooker and a lot of the other free agents that are out there right now? They're going into their last week of OTAs. After that, in fact, last week OTA should have been last week. I think minicamp is either starting this week or minicamp starts next week. But either way, this is like the last 2 weeks of practices. So you're looking at 6 total practices remaining. Most of these teams out here aren't going to sign a guy for these last 6 weeks unless there was some type of injury or something that took place, because they're in the heart of evaluating the guys that they currently have on the roster, whether that may be undrafted guys, whether it is a draft pick, whether it's a fringe roster guy. They're doing that first initial wave of evaluations right now. Now, once OTAs are over and they have a chance to decide if they think a guy's going to make a team or if they think that, hey, we need to upgrade a position, then we'll start seeing guys like Morgan Moses, Malik Hooker, and guys like that. Richard Sherman, he's another guy. We'll start seeing those guys get signed going into training camp. But that's why we haven't heard any update thus far. Now, that could change, but typically that's how it works during this time of year.
For sure.
Yep. And then Matt Mixitch. Shout out to you, Matt, who was another one who showed us how to say his name. Says, shout out to Deke and Moats, watching this at work. Hey, party at work, baby. That's how we do for you and for us. So we appreciate you appreciating us while we appreciate you, big fella.
Appreciate it, bro.
Man, let's see. It was another one also. Hold on.
I'm kind of seeing a hot topic here.
Uh-oh.
This is from Richard Gonzalez.
Where are you at? I don't see that one yet. You know how this chat looks right now.
Well, I was gonna say,
you go read it because I can't find it right now.
Would you be willing to like pivot a little bit off this?
Let's go, man. I'm with it.
Do you think Derek Watt will have a bigger impact this season? In the Matt Canada system.
Now, that is interesting. He could, in theory, if we're gonna see more of this. I don't want to say run first approach because we're still going to pass the ball a good amount of times. But if we are more focused on running the ball, I typically would like to have Derek White out there if he's going to be able to produce in the same way that Rosie was producing for Le'Veon. And the reason why I like that is just, even though it's going to attract a lot of attention, I do like the fact of having someone for Najee to follow off of. Like the O-line, they do their job in terms of the blocking, but to have that linebacker, to have that fullback that can maybe get the linebacker or get this safety that's in the box, and ultimately now you got Najee versus somebody else on the second level now. Like, I like that part of it. But then the flip side is, if we're bringing Derek White on the field, who do we have to take off the field? And now we got to go down that list of, all right, we know Deontay's out there. All right, do we keep Juju out there, or are we going to keep Claypool out there? Is Ebron out there, or are we going with Pat? Like, it's a lot of the things that happen with that. And that was what we brought up last year before Derek White got injured, when people would say we want Derek White out there more. And I would say, well, if he's going to be out there, he needs to dominate when he's out there in terms of the blocks that he makes. You need to see that impact, because fullbacks attract attention because they are tips. If you study from a defensive standpoint, those guys aren't on the field for decoy action. They are typically in the action 9 times out of 10. So it's just certain things that, your antennas are raised when those guys come on the field. So you want to make it worth your while, man.
Yeah, you're not going to be out there sending Derek Watt on like a fly route or something.
When you put Derek Watt on the field, I'm okay, bite down on the mouthpiece. We either getting hard run or it's going to be play action pass. That's what I'm thinking.
And like, what type of deception would you be able to pull with him if you did a play action? What type of route would he be able to run to where he burns a defender? I don't see it.
So you don't use him to burn a defender. You start him on the right side of the line of scrimmage, and as the play starts, I call him Derek Henry, Najee Harris, running towards the direction of which where Derek Watt was at, right? So if Derek Watt was lined up on our left side over here, right? I want the play going this way. So Ben is opening up to this way. Everything is telling you is going to Derek Watt. All our action, hard flow with the offensive line, everything is going that way. Play action pass, you boot, you send Watt coming underneath though. So when I play action with Ben on Najee, Derek is running behind the line of scrimmage. And now once I roll out of that thing, I'm trying to get this backside linebacker. If I can get this backside linebacker to fast flow because of Najee going front side and because of Ben turning his back, well, now I could get Derek in a foot race, or I can get Derek getting a 2 to 3 yard head start on this guy because he wasn't keying the right thing. So that's about it.
Do we want Derek Watt in open space like that?
That's the thing. Like with Rosie, we would do it sometimes around the goal line or some short yardage situations, and it was fun when it worked. But if it doesn't work, how are we going to feel about that? And that's the thing. But Derek Watt has displayed that he can catch. He does have soft hands and things like that. So I wouldn't hate it, but it would have to be situational for me. But that's the other thing. You can only do it so many times before it becomes a tip. And now I'm on the field and I'm saying, well, All right, he's lined up on this side. All right, he's going that way. He's lined up on that side. He's going that way. Oh, all right, they actually ran it. Okay, fast flow, front side. Okay, actually it was the run play this time. So the package is still going to be limited. So with Canada, it could work to just bring that full circle in terms of the answer. Yes, he could have a bigger role from what we saw last year, but I still don't think
he was hurt a lot too last year.
I still don't think it's going to be substantially larger where he's playing 40% of the snaps, 50% of the snaps on offense. I don't think it's going to be that, but I do think we'll see an increase in his plays if he is doing what we said in terms of actually moving guys out the way. Like, it has to look like it's a significant advantage when he's on the field, because if he's not, it's just not worth the attention to have him out there.
Sure. Almost too, I would kind of want Pat Freiermuth in that spot. It's not like, I don't know.
Pat can block.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know how open tight ends are to just going to fullback, if that's the same thing of like a safety moving to linebacker, where they're kind of hesitant to do that.
No, this is the thing. Even though Derek White is a fullback by classification, the play that I just broke down for you, that's an H-back. So Pat would be that.
That was like Tommy Tremble kind of stuff that he was doing at Notre Dame.
So you do that. The traditional fullback of just line up directly behind the quarterback and run A gap, B gap, C gap, and hit the first thing you see. Yeah, those days are ending, because as the defenders, I mean, we're bigger, we're learning. We've learned that, and the fullbacks aren't nowhere near as big as they used to be. You look at
Mike Allstott,
right? Or I think of like
Vontae
Leach. Like, think about how big he was. Like, those were like legitimate fullbacks. I'll never forget hitting Vontae Leach my first time. Like, bruh, where are you? Like, how did they build this thing? Like, you're not human. You're like a bigger bowling ball. Like, this is nuts. Derek isn't built like that. Derek is small. When I say small compared to fullbacks, like the traditional sense of fullbacks. Rosie was the same. Talked to Rosie all the time. I'm like, Rosie, bro, you like 230 right now. Like, I'm used to fullbacks being like 260, 270. Like, at times you might be weighing less than your running back if LeGarrette Blount was out there at times. Like, seriously, man. So that's the other part of it when it comes to Derek White. If he can do those type of things, it's not necessarily a given. But like I said, it'd be interesting to see, though.
Like, I'd rather have Pat Freiermuth catching that 2 or 3 yard little PA boot, getting him in space one-on-one with like a safety or something like that, him just stiff arming him, take it to the house, as opposed to Derek Watt. Yeah. Because, like you said, I don't think that's that type of play or that type of formation or how we run that is specific to Derek Watt. It's like anyone could do that. You just got to catch the ball, maybe get a couple yards. Yeah. Whereas, like, if you get a certain player with the ball after those 2 or 3 yards in some type of one-on-one or open space, there's, a list this long that you would take above Derek Watt.
Absolutely.
It's not a knock on him at all, but it's, like you said, maybe just the rules changing a lot for fullback and what you're required to do.
Shoot, one of these blast from the past fullbacks they brought up, Lorenzo Neal. You remember him from the Chargers?
Oh, yeah.
Man, no, he was a monster, too. He was actually one of the first NFL guys I had the breakout sit-down talk with when I got drafted. We went to the rookie symposium. It was out in San Diego. He was one of my breakout group leaders, and just hearing some of his stuff, you're just like, dude, you're like a psychopath. Like, I understand why you're a fullback. Like, you don't care about anything. Like, you just want to hit. Like, this is nuts. And you just hear these stories. I'm just like, I wish I could share them. I can't do that to my man, though. It was,
There was that one fullback for the Seahawks. He hit his head up against the helmet.
Yeah, like, seriously,
I think
bro,
that dude was from WVU.
They're like whacked out. Oh my goodness, yes.
I think he was.
Yes, he was. He was too. It'd be leaking, bro. Yeah, man. It's just certain, fullbacks are built different, bro. Like, I don't know how they wire them. Like, it's off. Yeah, it's off.
I don't think they have him anymore. Like, pure fullbacks. Derek Watt's probably the closest thing.
Yeah, because Rosie was the last closest thing. I'm trying to think. Does Baltimore? Baltimore doesn't really use a fullback. Buffalo, no.
Yeah, there's definitely gonna be like 2 or 3 teams that we're missing, but
I'm sure
you just don't see it anymore.
The Raiders probably have a fullback. Watch.
Well, yeah, like Kyle Juszczyk. But he's not what the fullbacks were like, because he's probably one of the best fullbacks in the league, but he's used in so many different ways.
He's an H-back. He's like, what was the cat that was in Indianapolis for a little while? Oh, man, it was like 44. Oh, Dallas Clark. Was that?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dallas Clark. He reminds me of like that. Like, athlete, can moving around H-back area, but he's not a traditional fullback. He's not really a traditional tight end, but they're kind of like in that off. It's H-back. What you call them H-back? Because they aren't the on-ball type. They move around a little bit. So, yeah.
Okay.
Interesting, though. Interesting. And then John Doe, our friend that we do know / don't know, he also says hit the like button with 2 bullseyes with the arrows up there.
We appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. And Leonardo Chavez, appreciate the love and support. He says, hey, Moats, have you heard of Candace? I can't say that I have.
Wait,
I mean, I know Candace. I don't know, like Candace is like, is that what you mean? I'm not really sure what you mean by Candace.
What is it? What's he asking?
I don't know. He says, have you heard of Candace with a question mark and just left it at that. But it was significant enough that, you know, he wanted to contribute. So, yeah. But I have no clue what it is, man.
Is that like an internet meme? Is
I don't know, man. I feel like
an app
maybe.
Or a person, Candace? I don't know.
I don't know. But I feel like we had to do it. So I did it. And now we're good. So, yeah, man.
Oh, man. There's
I'm seeing
Moats, this won't end well.
It's saying stop. Yeah, I don't know.
Who's going to tell him?
I don't know.
I don't know. You might be.
I don't know, man. So, yeah, let us know what's going on.
It's over, man.
I don't know.
This is bad.
Not for me, but
they're laughing. Magic Johnson's laughing his ass off.
Yes.
Can someone explain?
Yeah.
Damn, son. Mason S says, I'll be the one. So he's going to explain.
Okay, I'm going to say, yeah, either explain or we transition. You know, yeah, man. Okay. Got you. All right.
It's like a D's nuts type of thing.
Okay.
Okay.
Cool. Hey, we're good. Hey, touche. All good. I can't rebuttal.
These people in the comments. These people in the comments are just trolling these lads. We open up the floodgates by listening to those Richard Sherman rumors.
Well, I will say this though. If you compensate, you can troll all you want. So who's trolling who is all love, baby. So anywho, with that being said, our last thing that we're gonna get on real quick, little NBA.
Oh yeah.
Talk a little hoops, right? Gotta talk a little hoops.
Sure.
Talk a little hoops. But with hoops, where we want to start first, man?
Bucks are done.
Yeah.
That's where we could start.
We could definitely start there. Bucks are 100% done. Like, they're doing this.
The East might be done.
No Harden. Scary.
Is this secretly one of the greatest teams of all time, and we just haven't realized it?
We're here already?
I am. Yeah, I'm going to say
Holy
it. I'm going to say it.
cow.
The East is over. They're going into the finals.
Holy
I don't know who's going to stop
cow.
them, dude.
We're here already?
Did they lose a game in the first round? They did. They lost one to Celtics.
Yeah.
That might be it for them. I think 15-1 maybe.
Okay.
I'm going there. Dude, it's over.
Okay.
It's over. I mean,
they can score with anyone. They outscore
depending on what team comes out of the West, maybe they'll grab a game or two.
Yeah.
I think it's over.
I like it though. Well, this is my thing. Are you one of those people that are against what the Nets did? Because, you know, a lot of people are saying that this could be bad for NBA as a whole. Worse than with LeBron and worse than what KD did initially going to Golden State. This whole, all right.
It's not worse than KD going to Golden State. I'll tell you that.
I feel like that's definitely the worst, right? It has to be the worst.
Yeah.
Because they're saying like this goes against.
They just made an amazing trade for Harden. I don't know. It was mainly just KD and Kyrie teaming up, which is fine.
Harden kind of dictating like, you know, he's ready to roll. He's going to do what he does, and he got his ability to go here to Brooklyn.
The Rockets are the one that made the worst trade.
They did.
I don't think that's on Harden.
Did.
I think initially all it was KD and Kyrie teaming up. KD was out for the whole first year too, so it was like this wasn't a guarantee.
Yeah.
I think it'd be a different story too if, you know, they had Karis LeVert. They didn't make the James Harden trade. It might be a little tougher, but for them to pull off that James Harden trade, it's just being smart. So I'm not that much against it. I mean, LeBron and AD joining the Lakers, that happened recently.
Yeah.
So, like, how are we going to compare those two situations?
I agree. Yeah.
It's not. I mean, LeBron went to LA, but then they traded for AD, so that's two duos teamed up. We saw it with Kawhi and Paul George. We've been seeing it around the league.
Well, we kept saying 2. This is 3.
That's what I mean, though.
That's what makes it a little bit different.
They teamed up initially.
Yeah.
As them two. They didn't know they were getting James Harden.
Or did they?
I don't think they did.
Or did
I get what you're saying, but I didn't think they did. And KD was out that whole first year, so that was a full year that they were going to have to just basically throw to waste. So hey, good things come to those that are patient.
Yeah.
Good things come to those who wait, and this might be the best team.
But
One of the best teams
you
of
don't
all
think
time.
anybody is touching them, huh? You
No,
you don't think
over,
the
dude.
Bucks can
Not even
steal a game
Kawhi.
here?
Not even Kawhi, dude.
Okay. What about 76ers? Joel Embiid.
No, it's over, dude.
Embiid's
I'm just
a
telling,
monster.
it's over,
That's
dude.
an MVP
KD,
candidate, man.
they're all playing. Like, KD's on another level. Blake
Yeah.
Griffin's actually doing some shit.
Blake
Kyrie
Griffin had a double like the other day. I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
where did this come from?
And this is, and like you said, this is without
Yeah.
James Harden. Like, Kyrie's
Mhm.
playing amazing. KD's playing amazing.
Yeah.
And then James Harden's playing probably his best basketball ever.
Well, when he comes back, like, and I'm glad also when they said with the hammy, they said that it wasn't a re-injury necessarily because they were saying that he still, if they needed him to play, he could go out there. So I do like that a lot. It just seems like because they're absolutely just trashing the Bucks that they're not going to rush him. So hopefully he doesn't play in that series. Hopefully
They'll lose next round. They'll lose to the 76ers.
Oh man,
We could pull up this take on like freezing cold takes or something.
No, man. So hold on.
Are you with me? You think the Nets? You think it's over?
I don't think it's over, but it is funny though. So Ancient Ox says that he says my Nets will still win the chip without Harden. Now what you mean your Nets? Huh?
Oh my god.
No, it's your Nets. Come on, man. We can't. Y'all got to stop this, man. It's no different when all these Warrior fans came out when KD went there. Oh, my Warriors. Y'all got to stop this, man. All right. I'm calling y'all out. Man, I don't believe you was no Nets fan before this, man. John Doe says Nets are winning me money. Yeah, this is very factual. Yes. If you know what you know. Yes, indeed.
John Doe, the West looks interesting. I agree. The West looks interesting.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie,
East
bro.
doesn't, though.
Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
Call me a prisoner of the moment, but since he's come back, they've looked just different. I mean, you think about what Ja Morant did was that game 1 where he set out and he went crazy and we're just like, whoa, all right, well maybe Memphis is gonna do something here. Bro, since Donovan Mitchell has come back, they're just night and day. They were already a good team, but he is that X factor. He is that one that can create off the dribble. Man, watching him in the end of that game versus the Clippers, bro, it was a point where it was just like, if he wants to score right now, nobody is stopping him. Not Kawhi, not PG-13, nobody. I like that type of energy, man.
Now, what do you
he's
think?
not afraid of the moment.
Do you have them in the series, you think?
Who?
Over the Clippers?
I do. Yeah, I like him over.
Do you think Kawhi's definitely regretting passing that ball to Morris?
Bro, why did he pass the ball to Morris?
I think he was just going to get it back. Maybe it was like a movement type of thing.
No, man. I was not a fan of that. But shoot, didn't he? I thought
Paul George
Kawhi passed it to George, and then George passed it back to Kawhi, and then Kawhi passed it to Morris. So I'm like, bro, he passed it twice.
I'm good with George. Was heating up a little bit at that point, although he didn't have a good game. But he
just hit the three.
He hit some nice clutch shots.
Yeah.
But then, why didn't Kawhi just do the same thing he did against the Mavs? Little crossover, little step back three. That's it. It's that simple. Seriously. He was having a good game, too.
I said either that or I would have liked PG when he had got the ball to just went ahead and shot that three because he had space as well. And he had just hit one from that
Marcus
same
Morris,
area.
The last person you want chucking up that ball. Because even Luke Kennard was having kind of a good game. Some of their other bench players. But Marcus Morris, man, come on. Rudy Gobert just happened to be there too. That's a bad combo.
And then they just made it even that much better. It's like, oh, this is why Rudy Gobert is just the reigning defending player of the year. Like, this is what he does. I was like, no, this is a terrible possession right here, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's horrible, the best way to put it.
Horrible. Like, but it was more so because Kawhi passed it off. Like, Kawhi, you don't need to pass that. You take that shot, man.
I'm leaning Clippers for that one. Just probably because of Kawhi. That's about it. But all your points are about Jazz might have the better team, depth wise. But I just like Kawhi. I like the star power. And if Paul George can
but you don't think I feel like Donovan Mitchell is right up there with Kawhi in terms of star power. Like Donovan was 45 for them last night. He don't care about anything y'all talk about. He don't care about none of that. He said Kawhi clog, your mama call. It don't matter. He getting buckets. That's what he does.
Kawhi the better two-way player.
Yes, definitely the better two-way player.
And I've seen Kawhi do it though.
Mitchell's the better scorer. You've seen him do it in very advantageous situations though. Because if we bring up the finals in Toronto were very advantageous for him.
That's still really impressive.
It was still very advantageous for him. And that finals, once Clay went down and KD was down.
I've not only seen it there though.
And you're gonna say San Antonio?
No,
San Antonio was a stacked team as well.
I'll say it even these playoffs. Like that. That was crazy. Go down 2-0 like that. Let him over the Mavericks. Not too much help.
And
this team wasn't giving him shit in that game 6.
Okay, all right. I just the way that I don't know, man. I feel like Donovan Mitchell is up there, bro. Offensively, Donovan Mitchell, I like him better.
Is this becoming a bet here? No, I'm just saying. Is this, let's say the Clippers win the next game. It starts to get to the game 6, 7.
We'll see. I know you're a heavy better. I know that. I like to do bets where I know I can dictate stuff. That's why I use the apps, because with the apps it's more so, all right, over under this points, over under that points. It's more strategic. Just winning and loss, that's basic, man. It's it's a lot that goes into those. Yeah.
Hey, I'll take Nets if you wanna do any
you
bets
will?
with that.
You'll take Nets? Okay.
Just want to throw that
and
out
I'll take
there.
the Phil. That's what you want?
Oh, you want to do that? I'll do that. For the
I'm not
championship.
doing it, but I'm just saying, like, I see what you're going with this thing.
I'll do game by game too, whatever you want to do. I got the Nets though.
Okay, every time, game by game. All right.
I'm locked in.
Okay, all right. We'll see. I know you're very overzealous, and that's why you've lost eyebrows and lost all type of other stuff in the process.
I know that's what happens.
You can't help yourself.
You come in guns blazing.
You can't help yourself.
It comes back to haunt you.
I'm over here trying to help you out. I'm trying. Let me help you.
You think Mitchell would make
let
you
me
look
help
foolish?
you, because you were on that same energy with Golden State that year as well, and then what happened?
They got hurt.
Exactly. And then what did you end up losing, right? That's all I'm saying.
That's my excuse though.
It doesn't matter. It still was a loss.
Screwed me.
Yeah, it still was a loss. That's all I'm saying. Like, so just before you start saying I'm taking them game by game for here on, I mean, it's literally game 2 of the second round.
Nets.
Like, just think you got 2 more games at least, right? And then who knows after that? Like, it's a lot that can happen in that time. Nobody thought Harden would go down. If I'd have asked you this 2 weeks ago, man, heck yeah, Harden goes down. It changed a little bit, but now we're seeing they still can get it done. But just easy, man, easy, big fella.
Oh,
easy, man.
You think this is just like a blanket statement where it's like game 6 in round 3, you could just pull this out? Like Nets are looking bad. You're like, hey, I want to take the net or go against the Nets where I have to say yes because I make this statement, which would be hilarious. That's
my thing, man.
Which would be hilarious.
Yeah.
I would have to sign something for that though to make that a deal.
Oh, you'd have to sign something to make that.
That's a good point though. Maybe I should hold off.
Yeah, just brave a little.
It's over. The Nets are gonna win. I'm saying it right now.
I like the Nets in it though, man. I like it. Now, Alex Smith, shout out to Alex right here for the contribution as well. He says, off topic, but can we get 7 for an interview? Definitely, man. We're working on getting that. But the thing with 7, along with the other quarterbacks, are they, number one, have shows that they are mandatory to do, right? We know when Ben had his show, that's the only show he would do. Along with, they don't speak to the media just freely like that. It's typically under controlled circumstances, and rightfully so, because we aren't like this, but a lot of media outlets are like this, where if they can get their quarterbacks on, they want them to say something janky, or they're going to try to, I mean, we know this is how it happens. And I tell you this because these are the conversations that I have continually with my people over there at the Steelers about the quarterbacks and things like that. Not just Ben, but all of them. But that is a big part of why we technically haven't had a quarterback on with us just yet. That's the big reason why. So yeah, a little behind the scenes,
Yeah, for sure.
But that's the thing, because obviously they're gonna have your ESPN, your First Takes, and they have like deals through the NFL where it's like mandatory. All right, we're gonna get these players, however, et cetera, et cetera. But after that, it's very controlled, and they keep those guys in the best.
Like
position.
You said, rightfully so.
Yeah, because I mean, how quick could it be?
You gotta be smart about it. Yeah.
Hey, Mason, say this real quick, and then somebody goes out here and blasts and talks reckless.
Well, yeah, because I remember when Mason, when was it, in the 2019 when he got called to be the starter week 3 right there. Like, he would have been the hottest interview in town, but I don't think he did anything outside of like your typical press conferences after the game.
That's it. Yeah.
Same with Duck too.
Yeah, even think Ben. You don't hear from Ben every day. You hear from Ben once a week or whatever his speaking day is, and everybody joins to hear him speak on that day, but it's a controlled message. Like, that's the big thing though with the quarterbacks, and more importantly with 7. You think we talk about that with Mason, it's even bigger with him. So that's the big thing with that. But we're working on it. Trust me on this. All right. And where were we at? We were still talking basketball, right? We had the Jazz and, oh man, what was the other game that was out there?
Sixers, Hawks.
Yeah, that's what it was. Sixers and Hawks, man. What you think about them, man?
76ers are probably going to win that. Because I think how they ended that game 1, it looked like they had all the momentum. They were just botching up a little bit. And then you saw in game 2 that they took care of business there. Yeah. I think they're just going to be a little too much for the Hawks. Hawks are on a nice run. Like, they definitely
and Trae Young
outperformed what they should have this season. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think 76ers are going to be a little too much.
I love Embiid's game.
Yeah.
I'm also glad that it's just becoming more and more evident as the playoffs continue, as the seasons continue on, who the most important person is on that roster and who you should build around versus, you know, who you might want to just think about saying the shoe and bring somebody else in.
Yeah, I guess shooting's a factor with that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Embiid can shoot, though.
Yeah.
It's good to have a superstar that can shoot and can, do it all.
I mean, they're doing hack-a-sim. Like, that's just bad.
It's terrible.
That's not good.
It's not a good look, bro. That is a terrible look.
They were probably almost thinking about doing that for Doncic.
Which is bad, bro. That, like, when they get to that part, man, you're just like, oh, yeah, this is rough. Anytime you get hack-a-shack treatment, like, you should never want the hack-a-shack treatment. That's
if you're a center or something like that, you get it, but
it's not a compliment.
If you're supposed to be an all-star,
right?
Man.
That's the thing. Like,
and point guard.
And LeBron said you were next up. Remember that? He said that Ben was supposed to be the next up. It's looking like Jason Tatum might be next up. But yeah, man, it's not a good look, bro.
Nah, yeah, they're gonna win the series though, in my opinion.
Who?
76ers.
Oh, Sixers. I like Trey. I feel like Trey gonna do something, man.
He's gonna have some moments. I think the 76ers are too much though. Just defensively overall.
See, I'm worried about Embiid. I feel like, all right, Embiid, are you gonna is it gonna body gonna break down?
I was gonna say he's doing this all on a bum knee right now.
Absolutely. So I just feel like the longer the series goes, the more it benefits Atlanta because Embiid is gonna continue to break down. I mean, you can see him right now when he goes over to the sideline, like he's dealing with it, and that plays a factor.
Yeah, if he goes down, they're screwed.
Yeah, no question. Oh yeah, if he goes, that's all the way over. But I just think like. Still is interesting. I'm not like, the way we feel about the Nets. I don't think I feel as confident about either of these teams in this series right here.
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely a good point.
But yeah, I like it. And then you had your Suns. Where's Manuel? I know you want to talk Suns in here, right? I know that's his squad. And yeah, Monty Williams did get snubbed for that Coach of the Year. I did see that, man. And shout out to Jokic too, man. First Denver Nuggets to win MVP. Shout out. I didn't even realize that he was the first one, but I was like, yeah.
I think he was deserving.
Yeah, well, because between the injuries, I didn't think that Embiid played enough because obviously he had missed time.
LeBron was in the mix.
Yeah, but Bron missed that large chunk at the end of the year. I thought Curry. I liked Curry a lot, but I don't know if it maybe was the slow start. I thought Curry balled out all year though.
But Jokic to get that team, what were they, the 3 or 4 seeds, something like that, with Jamal Murray's injury and just how good he played. Yeah, just give it to Jokic.
Yeah, so.
Greek Freak would have been in the mix. Like, his numbers were crazy, but I think people were just done giving him the MVP.
And Manuel, in terms of Karl Malone and John Stockton, Malone has won it, but they were with the Jazz. Remember, with Jokic, she's with the Nuggets. So that was the difference. No Nugget player has won it. That's all. But to take that team, like you said, with no Jamal Murray, that's crazy. That was crazy. I personally, I liked Embiid a lot. I wanted him to be healthy because I think
he was probably the front runner before he got hurt.
And I think he's the most deserving. Like the dude, his story, the injuries he's had to overcome, the trust in the process. It was one of those, like, it would have felt good to see him get it, but you can't hate on Joker getting that done, man. Like you say, he's a beat, and he's showing up in the postseason too. It's not like some of these MVPs where they get him in the regular season and then come postseason time, you're like, where's he at? Where's that guy? It's not like that, so we're good.
Yeah. That series, probably Suns. I guess I'm giving my takes on all these series. Probably Suns, yeah.
Suns, oh man.
CP, Devin Booker. I think they're just gonna be a little too much, man. And I think that showed. Like, Denver kept it close most of that game, but then
D-Book looks nice too.
Yeah, Suns just really carried that away in the fourth.
Yeah. And I feel like when I was watching CP3 also, he just seems like he's playing more loose now. Whereas, like, I thought in that series with the Lakers, the pressure of it being the Lakers and obviously
maybe even the injury, I don't know.
Yeah, like he just looked like he was tight. Didn't like he was playing as freely. Looked like he was definitely a lot more stressed about it. Whereas I think because he got past that LA hump, which we knew was the big deal in the West, barring health more than anything, but we knew that was going to be a big deal. It just seems like them as a whole, they look way more relaxed in this series right here.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
You got anything else with NBA?
I'm trying to think, man. I think that was
I
it,
gave
bro.
all my little takes
Yeah,
on
because
that.
we talked a little bit about the MVP. Talked some of this basketball. Talked about these bum Suns that knocked out my Lakers, but I'm gonna let it slide. All right. So yeah, man. I feel like everything is copacetic. I feel like we've addressed everything that needed to be addressed today. So, big fella, on National Dotson Day, National 6'9" Day, it looks like we finished up our wake and bake, and now it's time for, I don't know what you do at brunch or at lunch.
It's the PM. It's about to be the PM,
man. So, enjoy the rest of your day. That's what you're supposed to do when it's a Wednesday at high noon. But this was a blast, man, as always, man. We always appreciate y'all tuning in early in the morning like how we did for the people that were in some of those super early morning time slots out there in Cali. Shout out to y'all for that. But yeah, man, hope this was a nice little morning, groove for you. And now that we are finished with that, baby, until next time.
Peace.